Welcome to Gangster Goddess Broadcast with Auntie Dre and Uncle Chris. Today we have a happy hour happening here from Germany, New York, New York, New York, New York, and New York. Jesus Christ, everybody! We're not taking We're in California.
I'm LA.
This is the end of our show, but we're pretending it's the beginning, and this is how we're doing our intro, right, guys?
Yeah.
Pretend to say hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Every formula.
Coming at you live from Venus. Uncle Dre and Auntie Chris bring you Gangster Goddess Broadcast.
Late right away.
No,
Chris?
no, Dre. The boys did it. Our men did it.
Okay.
We're ready to go. Yeah.
Because they know that we're not good at slating. Chris and I, Kimber, this is Chris over here in the corner.
Nice
He's my
to meet you, Kimber.
co-host.
Hi.
You got it.
Hi.
Hi.
See, I want to see you. Kimber. There you are. Hi, Kimber. Kimber.
Hello, how are you?
Oh my God.
Crazy. I feel a little crazy right now. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how I feel right now. I might cry, Joseph. I might be the one behind the monitor crying right now.
It's weird seeing everyone together.
I know.
I get to be a voyeur.
Which is great. Yeah, you get to see for the first time.
You can just ask us questions. You can just ask us for the dirt.
Well, I want to hear the dirt. I want to know first. I'm like new to this whole thing, so I want to know who did what and whose role was what on the set. I have no idea. Who's what? Kimber, what were you?
I'll start.
Okay. Oh, Dre, what were you? You were an actress?
Extraordinaire. Go, guys.
I was a makeup department head.
What's everybody say what you did and for what seasons? Let's do that.
Oh, perfect.
She said she was the makeup department that gave head.
What?
Hey.
Nice.
Oh, right. And that's how she met Steve.
That's how she met me. I was her key makeup for everything but the first season.
Awesome.
Oh, you were second season.
I did all the
I
seasons.
came in the second. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
Kimber did everything. I came on the beginning of the second season to the end.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Joseph. I was on seasons 4, 5, and 6, and I'm from the costume department.
Joseph, I've been following you on your Instagram, and when I see pictures of you,
Oh my
I
God,
get
it's
so
hysterical.
excited. Because you're hysterical, but just when I see you like on the red carpet and all of the things that have been going on since Sopranos and all of your achievements in wardrobe and costuming, I flip out. And then on top of it, you look gorgeous, and your clothing. I'm like, I'm in love with you. Anyway, okay, I'll stop.
It's mutual.
Thanks to Theragun for supporting Gangster Goddess. Theragun is a handheld percussive therapy device that releases your deepest muscle tension using a scientifically calibrated...
Your deepest, darkest secret?
I thought you were going to combination of depth, speed, and power. And now, as quiet as an electric toothbrush. Try Theragun for 30 days by going to theragun.com/GG. Yeah.
Gangster Goddess.
That's right, people.
Do it.
Go back and watch the show. We have a nice show for you today. Goodbye.
Jen, seasons 4, 5, and 6 too? No, I stole you.
Yeah, you stole me for season 6A. So I was there season 4, 5, and 6B. And I was the first team PA, so I took care of the cast.
The audience should know, our listeners should know that this is the famous Ginger that I talk about in every single episode.
Every single episode.
Ginger.
Yeah. We love Ginger.
And now we got Kristen, the boss.
I think I'm the only lifer here, if that's true. The only show I didn't do was the pilot. I came on season 1 as the second AD, and then by the end, I was the assistant production manager. So I kind of worked my way up the show.
Wow.
I guess I'm the number one lifer because I was there for the pilot.
Yeah, That's right. But you were someone else in the pilot, right?
I was someone else, and I wasn't supposed to be there that long, so I got really lucky. You guys all took care of me like I was a little baby.
You were a baby. You were a baby.
Oh, thank you to our sponsors, Green Chef. Yes, go to greenchef.com/GG90 and use code GG90 for how much off?
$90 off.
Yeah! It's a lot. And it includes free shipping, so that's great.
And it's freaking delicious. Get back to our show
We're
right
starving.
now.
Yes.
We'll be back later.
Kimbra knows me from before Sopranos. Do you remember?
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember when we did Swift Justice?
Oh, dear God.
Justice.
You didn't remember. I just reminded you. You did my makeup on Swift Justice. And I had never.
Justice, the best review I ever read of it was, if the title were true, it'd be canceled by now.
I never saw it. But you,
oh my God, I did that show.
On that show.
I did it.
With us. You did it too?
I did. I did second unit of that show. It was the worst show there ever was.
You there? When I did the guest star thing?
Probably not, because I did second unit, which was like always blowing things up. We blew everything up on every block in New York City.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, so in that episode, it was Alan Coulter directing. You were doing makeup. Frank Pellegrino and Tony Darrow were the lieutenants.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
In it.
Oh, wow.
So it came full circle. Anyway, so that's where I knew you from that ages ago. But
Yeah,
anyway.
you know who else did that? Was Julia Stiles.
Really?
Really?
She played an Amish girl on Swift Justice.
Oh, God.
Amazing.
Riley.
Full
That's
circle.
crazy.
Justin Chambers was my boyfriend in it, right? It was Justin Chambers and
Yeah.
Kirk Acevedo. Yeah, so I had a cool
Oh,
cast.
my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
My first job ever. Anyway, this is boring for everybody here who's from the best show on television.
Kirk Acevedo would come to live in the makeup room when I worked on a TV show called, when Steve and I worked on a TV show called Fringe,
Oh, yeah.
although Steve was making prosthetics so often, he lived in the basement of the house.
Oh my God.
I remember when you started doing all that stuff, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
You went from my eyeshadow to bullets and heads. Hold on, my air conditioner just turned on. I'm going to get in trouble. I'll be right back. Hold on. Oh, no, it's so good.
Bye, Jay. Oh my God.
Steve, that basement that you always talk about was a place that we all used to talk about. And so we really wanted to see what happened in the basement.
That's right.
That basement.
We always were like, is Steve in the basement?
Basement?
Yeah.
Well, you made
This doesn't
Joey
really
Pants
exist.
head.
Oh,
You
yeah.
were,
That's
you
right.
were making head in the basement.
I was making lots of heads in the basement.
Isn't that funny when you said to think of things that I can remember? For some reason, one of the only things I can remember from the show was when Joey Pants died, being with Jim in a bathtub holding Joey Pants. Just the three of us in a bloody bathtub. And I was like, why was I in that bathtub? It doesn't make any sense. I remember being in it, but I can't remember why I would have been in the bathtub. But I was.
Wait,
Why not?
why were you guys in the bathtub? What was the scene again? Because I haven't watched in forever, so I'm still in season 2.
I think
What was that moment?
Didn't Tony kill him and put him in the bathtub?
Yeah, it's when he chopped his head off and his hands off.
In the bathtub. Yeah, that's what it was. He chopped his head off in the bathtub.
Yeah.
And that's when isn't that when they discovered when he had the wig? Because
Yes,
his wig
I
falls
think so.
off?
I
Yes.
think it was that scene, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
True.
Because no one was sure before.
Like, you couldn't see the lace.
Oh, man.
No, it was where's that would have been Anthony Vietor, right?
Yes.
With his lace.
Was that Anthony's time? Yeah.
No, that was Victor Di Nicola.
That's right.
No, that was Victor Di Nicola.
I don't remember a lot of things from back then. So whenever I have anybody on the show, they remind me of things that blow my mind. Like, even Lorraine was reminded. We just interviewed Lorraine, and I just don't remember anything. I think I was really partying a lot during those. That's right, Jen.
It was
Honey,
20
you were
years ago.
partying more than Victor, though.
I mean, do you guys remember? This is why we're here. Can you guys remind me of things? Because I don't remember.
I want to know stuff about Dre. Like, can we start there? How was she? Like in the makeup chair? I know she's not a thing. Then let's start with hair and makeup. Please.
That was like when Dre walked in. That was the thing I look forward to.
Wait, say it again. What was that?
When Drea walked into the trailer, that was what everyone looked forward to because you were a comedy routine in yourself. You were, you were hysterical. You were in stitches every moment. You were in the chair just laughing. It was so much fun.
Really? I thought that I would come in with the drama.
No, I think personally, for me, out of the entire cast, I think you and Edie were the two nicest and easiest people to ever be around. Every time you were on the call sheet, it was like, oh, thank God, it's a Drea scene. Oh, it's an Edie scene. It was
exactly
so much fun.
You and I, Joseph, you and I had a love affair.
we did, and you were. I don't know if you remember. Just before we were shooting on a Monday, and I had to go to a Britney Spears concert on a Friday, but I was too fat to fit into my Britney Spears jeans. And you told me about Nikki Hassel's dark house.
The garlic pills.
Yeah, and then
that was the way to stay skinny back then.
I know. I took 2 on Tuesday, 2 on Wednesday. I was on the toilet all of Thursday and dropped 2 waist sizes by Friday, and I was ecstatic.
You're like, Brittany, here I come.
That is too much. Oh my God.
I kind of remember one of my first interactions with Dre was we were getting ready for a scene, and she's supposed to get in a car and drive away. And she looked at me and she goes, Chris, and I said, yeah. She goes, I don't know how to drive. And I was like, did we get far, like, to this moment? And you were like, I'll do it, but I don't think I know how to do it. And then you just did it, right? Do you remember that?
I think yes. There was one time when there was a scene we were shooting at the Soprano house with Rosalie, with Sharon Angela and Edie. I think it's the scene where I'm like hysterical crying because I have this secret and I can't say anything. I run out of the house, and they had my stunt double do the run out of the house down the stairs, and she fell and broke her nose. Do you guys remember that?
Oh, yeah.
She broke her nose. So
I think was it Jody Penn?
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
Jody Penn.
Yeah, it wasn't my stand-in. It was definitely the stunt girl because she had to get in the car and drive all around the trailers afterwards. Yeah. And I was like, you know what, guys? That day I had some balls about me, so I did it. But to concentrate on crying and then having to fall and then having to drive, that's like a lot for someone of my
just driving alone. I'm impressed that you even drove. My God.
I was constantly impressed with the amount of time that they made her cry. The fact that she could keep that up was amazing.
Yeah.
Because one time they had you crying for like 12 hours.
Oh my God.
But then we discovered the tear stick. Like, we have our secrets. And I don't mind sharing those secrets with the world because nobody can cry for 40 takes.
No.
Usually they use the takes that you're not really crying. They never use the real ones where Joseph is behind the monitor crying. They use the ones that are totally staged.
Joseph, that's what you're using, the tear stick on yourself?
Not necessary.
Yeah,
Joseph
it was.
Doesn't that.
Oh man, it was too much. I remember. Did you have to deal? Oh wait, Joseph, was it you dealing with the puke scene?
Oh yeah, that's so funny. I don't know if you remember the set supervisor Elizabeth Feldbauer. her and I were just talking yesterday about the scene where you projectile vomited.
Yes.
The camera crew and the two of us were head to toe. We looked like the Gordon's fishermen covered in rainwear because we weren't sure where the vomit was going to go. And we had to have to keep resetting it. Yeah.
And you guys had to keep resetting that $250,000 bracelet I was wearing from Harry Winston. And the dog.
And the poor Cosette.
Poor Cosette. I wanted to kill that dog by the end of that shoot. I was like, you guys want me crying, puking, making sure I don't get vomit in my $250,000 bracelet or on this crazy dog. Oh, no, I was done. That scene was one of the worst scenes for everybody, I think. Anyway.
A lot.
So, yeah. Who went to Italy? Kristen, did you go to Italy?
That was Steve that went to Italy.
I feel like I went twice. Is that possible? Or
no, I think we did go twice.
We did, right?
I think we did, yeah.
My God. That was something.
That must have been amazing.
Italy was fun. I mean, it's Italy with a bunch of knuckleheads. I mean, come on, what could go wrong?
Did you guys party down in Italy the way we all partied down, like say when we went to Asbury Park, or I know
we partied
some major parties elsewhere that we're not allowed to talk about?
I feel like, Steve, was it Italy when we flew back and we had the whole kind of first class section? And like if you lit a match, we had shot all night, and then on the way to the airport, Jimmy made us stop at this place, and then we all just had like brown bagged it in the car, and we were just guzzling. It was so disgusting. And
I thought you meant brown bag like threw up in it.
No.
Okay.
Kind of bold.
It was it was a full night of shooting. Yep.
And everyone's sleeping and so disgusting. People were like drooling. It was so gross. We were disgusting.
Do you remember the night before we got on the plane when we were shooting through the night? Do you remember the stunt coordinator in Italy, the stunt kid who was really punching the kid and making him bleed?
Yeah.
We had a rough night because the stunt coordinator in Italy didn't understand what was going on, and he was punching a little kid for real. And like, it was crazy.
God.
And then we were all crazed, exhausted, working through the night. And yeah, we just ended up brown bagging it. We got like a case of limoncello, I think. And all stuff. And we were just, we had the whole first class cabin to ourselves, and we were just trashed and sad.
Were you guys with the cast, or was it the whole crew in first class?
Oh, it was the cast and crew. It was everybody.
It was everybody. That was back in the American Airlines days. That was when HBO used to fly us on American, and that first class doesn't even exist anymore. So that was a good time.
True.
God, we used to go to the back of the plane and smoke cigarettes, flying back from Italy.
Oh, I remember these days myself. Wow. We're all so f***ing old.
Oh,
I really remember on the plane. There was something about Federico that happened on the plane, which I can't remember what it was, but it was like kind of a big deal.
Oh, there was always something with Federico. It didn't matter where it was. There was always something with Federico.
Yeah, Federico, I'm pretty sure, is kind of running that Soprano Con thing now, that big convention. I think he's like a partner on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And Marchetti was just calling me as I was getting ready to, here he is. Dre, got a minute to talk? I'm talking to everybody from the show right now.
Do, Dre? You should send him the link and say, air it out right here in front of your peers.
I know. Marchetti's involved in it too, and they're trying to pull me back in because they pulled me in last time, and it was a shit show. So I don't know if I feel like doing it again.
No.
But there were some great cardboard cutouts of you I've seen.
Oh my God, it was very impressive. What they did was pretty amazing. It was really amazing. You guys probably all would have actually enjoyed it because the way they set it up was pretty fantastic. It was like a Soprano Disneyland.
Wow.
Amazing.
Wow.
Can I ask you guys?
Go, Chris. Go.
No, I just want to know, like, they told me some experiences with you. What about James Gandolfini in the makeup chair? What were you? Yeah, I want to get right to it. Let's
I have to refill my drink on that one.
Wait.
Me too.
Oh, apparently I hit a nerve. Let's do this.
Wait.
Well,
Kimber, hold on. I have to say that one of my favorite all-time memories, and it's not like it just happened once, but like ongoing memory, is being and Kimber straddling Jim. She would be on top of him in the chair, holding him down, trying to put the fake beard on him or do his makeup, and him fighting her off and her just holding him down, straddling him down. He would be dying laughing. It was
amazing. Pinning him down.
Yeah. Wait, why was he just didn't want to be? What was his deal? He was like didn't want to have anything on him.
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't like being in the makeup chair either.
Moments, but here's the thing, and I spoke about this when I worked with him on Lincoln. Sopranos never would have been made in today's uptight political climate.
Oh, of course not.
And I tried a variety of ways because some of these guys weren't actors, really, to keep people still. With some guys, I would keep a selection of Playboys and go, okay, you don't want to sit still because you think you're too good for makeup? Well, look at the naked woman. And I'd make them up and go, okay, now go away.
I love it.
But with Jim, it was, either Playboy or Guns and Ammo. But when none of those worked, one time it came down to the fact that, okay, I need to make it look like you've been grazed in the ear with a bullet. You don't sit still, I'm going to make you sit still. And he said, I'd like to see you try. So I pinned him to the chair. And that's when I started doing the effect, and Karen walked in. She looked at me as I've got my arm across his throat and my knee in his chest. And she's like, I hope you don't expect me to do that.
Amazing.
And I was just like, okay, get in here and start handing me stuff because I got to get him out in like 30 minutes.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I think
he's a surly boy.
I think you're right in that that show wouldn't have been made because I would say we were all of us so physical with each other, like whether it was and both like with words and with hands. Hugs. And it's just the physicality of it is so completely different than what goes on now. And the way we spoke to each other, I think we were either hysterically laughing or screaming. Like there was not
Italian.
Totally Italian.
I would say when I
Italian.
Go ahead,
when I started on the fourth season, the amount of stories I heard from seasons 1 through 3 of the fighting within the costume department, and not verbal, physical fighting, blew my mind.
Really?
My gosh.
I'm remembering.
How people didn't go to jail or get arrested in my department before I came along. It was crazy.
I did hear.
I know the costume designer punched out an elevator and like kind of disabled it for like a few hours until they can get to fix it. She got really pissed one day.
And there weren't like meds, right? There weren't like meds in the way everybody takes them now.
Here's an alcohol and drugs.
Kristen, can I say, you look amazing, Kristen. You haven't changed a bit.
I know.
It's truly, you look great.
You. Yeah. Is there any dentist is checking out your teeth over here?
If we were smart back then and would have known how big reality television has become, we should have filmed all of the backstage of Sopranos. That could have lasted 7 equal seasons.
Yeah.
So
true. Didn't hear all of it.
True.
Who would have believed it?
We had flip phones.
Chris Collins always swore he was going to write a book. Chris always swore he was going to write a book, which would have been good because he's like the most observant out of everyone.
Yeah.
I will say,
Chicken, yeah.
He's my number one fan. He's this podcast's number one fan. He goes in and listens to these episodes, and he comments on them to me in ways that are, it's like we have some sort of seminar going, like some senior thesis happening that we're like writing a paper. I love when he watches the show and then calls and critiques it to me. But, we had flip phones back then, guys. I mean, who could have ever recorded anything unless we were walking around with like a video camera? It was before all of that. Can you imagine if we had Instagram back then?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. First of all, wow. Resources. All these, now you guys know that we go on all of these huge human resources meetings when we start a show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a huge deal. We didn't do that back then, did we?
No.
We couldn't.
We didn't. No. I probably would have been brought up for sexual harassment, just for grabbing everybody.
We all would have.
Yeah, all of us.
Who are you kidding? All of us would have been brought up on charges.
Was anyone here involved, aside from me and Kimber, involved in, Kristen, you probably were, the first sexual harassment meeting with the Sopranos?
Oh my God, I want to hear about that.
Okay, this was brilliant. Everyone can put in their own 2 cents on this, but this was the first sexual harassment meeting on The Sopranos. First sexual harassment meeting, probably, period. Productions were just starting to do this, so it wasn't even a thing.
We all had to be there.
Reached around and grabbed my boob?
Yes, okay, so I spent the whole sexual harassment meeting with my hand on Kimber's breast. And Eileen Landers, our producer's like turning to the person giving the seminar going, it's okay, they're married. And the person was just so confused, didn't know what to do. But it was not just, because usually nowadays it's like the cast does it separately, the crew does it separately. It was everybody. It was the cast and the department heads there. And it was really bizarre because it's like Jimmy Gandolfini's texting me, I want to lick your balls. I want to do this. It's like, Rocco's going back and forth, scratching your crotch under the table. And everyone's doing the most obscene, vulgar things imaginable. And this poor person in charge of the meeting didn't know what to do. It was just like a lost cause, but it was hysterical. I mean, it's not the group you do a sexual harassment meeting with.
No. Like 12-year-olds.
That was all we did every day. It was our fun. Yeah.
I think they gave up. Didn't they give up and walk out?
They
and we all
gave up completely. We won.
I want to lick your balls.
Yep.
Well, that was one of the first conversations you ever had with Jim. You know that, right?
That was a different conversation you're thinking of, I think.
Oh, what conversation was that?
Yeah, that's before you two even met.
No, that meeting was while we were shooting. We knew each other. I met him with a different one when he asked me if I was treating you well or not, and I said not really. And he's like, I like you, but
because he knew you were a smart ass like him.
Exactly, just like him.
If he knew you weren't treating her well, he would have taken you in a stranglehold.
Oh, he would have beaten the crap out of me. Yeah, but
no.
Exactly. Jimmy was extremely protective over Kimber and everybody. He was like the most loyal person in the world.
God, yeah.
So nice. Incredible.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna get this knot out.
Just a little. Go deeper.
Deeper.
Get in it.
I'm crushing you.
No, God, I have such knots.
I know. I'm the same way. I need. You know what? God, the Theragun's not here.
Where is it?
I lent it to a friend, but guess what?
What?
The new Theragun is coming. The Gen 4, the proprietary brushless motor.
Right there.
So it's really super quiet, but I kind of like the sound of the old school one. I mean, because it purrs like a cat. Anyway.
I mean, at least it will get those knots out that you're trying to get out. You got to go a little deeper.
Okay, here's the thing with Theragun, which is why I'm bummed out I don't have it.
You don't have to.
Well,
I know. Tell me.
Whenever anyone's rubbing my back, they can't, it's like top muscle, the fascia. And the massage therapist is always like, are you kidding me? You can't, I'm going to pierce an organ if I go this deep. And so now I hand her the Theragun. I'm like, just use the Theragun on me.
You bring it to your massage therapist?
Well, my massage therapist comes here. She comes here, okay? By the way, you sent me a massage therapist, so you know.
So basically, I would give the Theragun to you so that you could massage
Yes, but I don't have it right now. But
Yes.
You can do it on yourself, which is my most favorite part. And the thing that gets me to sleep better in the evening is I like when you change the head of the Theragun to the little triangle and do it on the heel of your foot.
Oh, really?
I don't know. It's crazy.
No, I know, and you've been having problems sleeping.
It's crazy. So I'm not sleeping, you know.
Get it back.
Houses, foreclosures, craziness, the world's going nuts. So yeah, I'm not sleeping. You know what's helping me sleep even more at night? Theragun CBD oil.
Oh yeah.
It is so good, by the way.
I haven't tried mine yet.
Oh, it's great. You got to try it. It's really, really
like
good.
A baby.
And it's nice and pepperminty.
I know the Gen 4 has that combo of the depth and the speed and the power. Right?
Yeah.
And something
it's just quieter, but I love, you know, I like knowing what's happening to me.
Do you?
Yeah.
Wait,
especially when it's from the back and I can't see. I'm not being filthy. I'm being so reserved.
I know you are. What's the deal with that motor, right? Did you say that already about the motor? There's something about
it's an amazing motor.
It's like brushless or something too, right? With the Gen 4?
I mean, all I know is that I think the motor is what makes the massage and the beating on your back and the way it releases everything. It's a motor.
It's a proprietary combination of a brushless motor technology. I don't know. I'm just throwing out big words because I don't know. All I know
is that it's my favorite secret weapon.
Yes.
It's my magic wand. Oh. Oh, look.
It's good because they're giving us a 30-day thing for us.
Try Theragun 30 days. There's no substitute for Theragun Gen 4.
Don't get it twisted.
It has an OLED screen and a personalized Theragun app.
I know, is that crazy? Yeah.
Oh, I can't
move into the technology, people. Way to go about it.
Oh, and it only starts at $190.
I know, it's great.
That's good. That's good price. Good price. Yeah. So go to Chris. Why don't you
go to Theragun.com/GG right now? Do it and get your Gen 4 Theragun today. That's right, Theragun.com/GG.
One of my favorite things, I always tell this story about him, and it's not really a story because it would happen almost every single day. Every single day, we would be shooting, and instead of going to his trailer, he would sit on the set, kind of offset, out of the way, and he would literally just watch everybody work, whether it was the stand-ins, the crew, everybody, and he would just sit and kind of admire what everybody would do. And he was very aware of that, which I always thought he was going eventually to direct, because he so knew, like, technically what everyone did and was so respectful of it that it was really always amazing, really amazing to watch. And if he didn't understand something, he would pull you aside and say, like, why did you do that? Or did that person get in your way while you were doing that? Is that what happened? He was always really on it in that way.
Oh, wow. I had no idea.
Yeah, always. Always. You know who else would do stuff like that? John Patterson. John Patterson. Was Chris.
I miss John.
You know who he is, Chris? He was one of our directors. Like the most amazing guy.
He was my favorite, Chris.
The best. I mean, just the greatest human. And he would sit in the van when we would scout. And the directors usually sit in the front seat with the drivers. And he would always pull down the visor and the mirror. And he would just stare at everybody in the van and just like watch them all the time. And he would do the same thing on the set.
Take it in,
magical. Completely take it in and learn about everyone. It was pretty magical.
Aces.
He was a magic.
Aces.
What?
Huh?
Aces. When it was a good take, he'd be like, aces.
Yep. Do you guys remember when he got locked in the honey wagon for a company move?
Yes, I do.
Hey, what? In the bathroom?
He was in the bathroom of the honey wagon, going to the bathroom. The Teamsters did a company move, slammed the stairs up, and took off with him on the shitter. No! Got to the next location, pulled the stairs down, and he walked out going, well, that was interesting.
Do you remember, Ginge, were you there when Curatola got locked in the stage when we all left?
No, I didn't hear about that one.
End of the night.
Know that?
Yeah, we had like, remember in the back, what stage was it, B or something? All the dressing rooms were in the back. Yeah. So he was in that dressing room and we wrapped and we cleaned up the stage and everybody left. And all of a sudden, like Scotty, the security guard, calls me and he's like, Kristen, you got to get back here. Someone's banging on the door and I don't know what it is or who it is. We didn't have phones.
Oh, no, not Johnny Sack.
I mean, the lights were out. He had no electricity. He was so mad. So mad.
Oh, my God.
Well, that's
I thought it wasn't me.
Karen and our Teamster locked 2 people in the truck. And they would have wound up in the yards if it wasn't for Charlie Faye asking for help with a stake bed. The Teamster pulled over, and that's when they heard the pounding and the screaming.
Oh my
The
God.
drivers wanted to get out. They wanted to go home.
Oh my God.
But, you know, that's the same Teamster who, you know, decided to change a tire while we were all in the truck.
Oh my God.
So when the jack came out from underneath the truck, the truck dropped like a foot with all of us in it.
But the great thing is,
oh my God.
to start that story though, where were we? Long Island, I think it was. There was a hurricane coming towards us. And we're supposed to hit like
hurricane.
No, the big hurricane.
1 o'clock was supposed to hit, so we were going to wrap at 12:30. And we're all in the trailer with the actors, and then the trailer just drops, and we thought we got hit by the hurricane. It turns out it was just our Teamster changing a tire.
I think Charlie Faye was my driver. I think he drove me half the time. Am I crazy?
Yeah, I think he did, yeah.
Oh, I think he did, yeah.
Yeah.
He did.
Uncle Charlie.
Yeah, it's such
Uncle
a long
Charlie.
time ago. I don't remember a lot of things, man. Him and Jason.
Do you remember, Drea, how the challenge daily of trying to wire you because you had so little clothing on, we had to get so creative?
Please remind me.
Oh,
it was you and I forever once you came.
I will tell you this. I'll go back in a minute and tell my favorite gym story. But I left the show at season 6, but I came back and I said, I don't care if I'm going to be paid because I had to be with you, and we were together the entire time you died. And it was
right.
And I want to say, to this day, I stand by what I said back then. I've been, we've all been in a million things since then. Your acting in that scene, and I'm so happy that the world rewarded you for it, was some of the best tear-jerking, honest moments I've ever experienced on a set. You should be so proud of that moment.
Yep.
Oh, man. One of my Joseph. Wait, look what I have down here on the floor.
Joseph.
I
Joseph,
Yeah.
I love that it's on the floor. I love it.
It should be somewhere else.
Oh my God, lunch break. What are we having? Oh, we're having farfalle pasta bowls with pesto from Green Chef. Green Chef is organic, all delicious. We're going vegan right now. This is delicious. But I want to show you guys how I need, because you guys remember when we were, when HelloFresh was our wonderful sponsors. Well, this is their sister company, correct?
Well, they own this, yeah. It's
so
amazing.
I want you guys to see how everything comes out of these bags. This is going to be for fall pasta bowls with pesto.
Yum.
Your mushrooms come already measured.
Bam!
Boom. Yeah.
What's that?
What do we got? Swiss chard. It's a Swiss chard.
Oh, yeah.
Already measured,
Bam.
so you know.
High quality and wholesome food. What's that?
Crimini mushrooms. Already. Wait, sun-dried tomatoes. Excuse me. Those are sun-dried tomatoes.
By the way, this is all sustainably sourced. Did you know that?
Here's your vegan pesto. Delicious. You know exactly how much, so you don't have to worry about looking for a recipe, all this stuff. This takes 35 minutes to make, by the way.
Do you know what this is, Dre?
Walnuts.
This is deliciousness delivered, convenience, and easy.
Totally. A lemon.
Lemon. Make lemons.
A little corn. A little corn to mix up the Italianness of it all. What do we got here? Oh, we got some fennel because we're going to caramelize this.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
My kids love fennel. My kids love this meal, by the way.
Coconut cream with corn. Delicious. So now,
I'm starving.
it tells you how to put it. Oh, and here's your farfalle. Whole wheat farfalle, it looks like. Yep. Now, then you get rid of your bag and you start cooking. And they tell you exactly, and they deliver this to your house. No need to run to the grocery shop. I like to just have these in the fridge when we know we're on the go. Because this is a quick, easy way to cook, and it's healthy.
And the cleanup, these pre-measured packets that all sustainable. This is your garbage. So now all these ingredients, cut, put in the thing, mix together, garbage. So everything's done.
So easy.
That's easy. For me, the cleanup. Not to mention, my kids love the pesto. Yeah.
I know. Who doesn't love pesto?
Who doesn't love it?
Anyway, who doesn't love having your prepared dinner already sent to your house that you just have to throw in a few bowls and mix up?
It really is.
Like it.
Extremely convenient. That's all we want right now. Easy and convenient. And
that's right.
In tough times, man.
Yeah, man.
Tough
so
times.
go to greenchef.com/GG90 and use our code.
How much you get off?
$90.
Yo!
And free shipping.
Free shipping.
Oh!
Forget about it.
You know.
I'm gonna eat this corn right now.
All right, I'm making this right now. We're not going to bore you with watching us how to make this, but we're going to make it. Go back to our show. Go back to the show. We're going to eat. Goodbye.
Dre's kitchen is done.
Meal plans include paleo, keto, and plant-powered diets. Go to greenchef.com/GG90 and use code GG90 to get $90 off, including free shipping.
That's one of those things where you talked about, Joseph, you cry when it's a good take, but I remember being there when we shot that scene all day of Stevie killing
on her knees all day long,
crying hysterically all day.
You and I were, absolutely.
We were
all furious because we didn't want to see Drea go.
Correct. And nobody was talking to you. We all knew what we had to do. Like when you got up and we cut, we'd all get the dirt taken off of you, but no one would speak to you except Ginger every now and then. And we just trying to keep you in the moment, but we had to keep you in that moment for 12 hours? On
Oh my
knees,
God.
Crawling.
I mean, I'm getting chills all over my body. Stevie, I never thought that I had a hard time that day because I don't remember a lot. I always thought the other days, like the day where I confessed to him, I thought that was the day where I was like, I mean, everyone did always stay away from me when I had to cry. I know that. I know that everybody was very aware that it was, Ginger knew she needs Dre time after hair and makeup. Like I would have a struggle with hair and makeup too, but I would never be vocal about it. We had such a good system down. Kimber, you started me and then Steve took over, right? Because you were with Edie, Lorraine, and Jim mostly.
You also had a lot of tattoos that needed to be covered.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, so that was, Steve would work on me, but then you would do my whole, like my underlayer, and then I would go out and do my lips, my eyeliner, and my mascara, right? So, but Ginger knew that if I had one of those heavy crying days, that I needed Dre time.
I don't even understand how you recover from crying. 12 hours of crying. I mean,
crazy.
Well, but then the crazy thing is, the 12 hours it was just half our day because then we cut and move on to the next thing where she had to be happy and laughing with Christopher. So it was
God,
so draining on the actors.
Yeah, it was draining. Also because back then I didn't have tricks. You know, like I didn't. I was so devoted to being an actor that I would never give in to trying other ways to cry. Like I had to really, really be an emotional wreck. I tortured myself during the time of that show. So when it was over, I was okay with moving on. Everyone was like, I can't believe this is happening. I was like, I can. It's time. I can't cry like this every day. I'll end up in an institution because I was killing off everybody in my family. I was going into all these dark places. You know, and then by the end, I would put all the tear sticks on if I needed it. But I was really on an emotional roller coaster. So I'm glad that it paid off, guys. I'm really glad that you guys gave me my Dre time.
When you, I remember when you had one of those days, I would just always stay within where you could see me, but far enough away to give you your face.
An arm shot,
But then I keep everybody else away from her. Props, you know what I mean? Because everybody, you know, there's so many people who get involved and have to touch the actors and talk to the actors before they go on, and it's part of their job. But there's times where it's like, just everyone leave her alone, and that's where
I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
I think on that show, I don't like now. I don't think any producers or directors or anyone would kind of let anyone go through that anymore in that way, like 12 hours of that. I think we've gone into a world where that doesn't happen anymore. You know, everyone is so keenly aware of all of that stuff, and that's kind of all you talk about in prep. And with Sopranos, you know, because everybody had, I mean, that scene was its own epic thing, but there were so many scenes like that on like every day almost.
Oh yeah.
And if they weren't physically like physically overbearing, emotionally overbearing, like all of them, as you were saying, Dre, sometimes like that day was so physical for you, but other days and other scenes you had to do were probably so emotional that they, even though that was emotional, but we never like, do you think there was ever a time where we went, okay, enough? Like, I don't think we did that at that time.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
Not like now. It's true. Like now.
Now I would like after 2 takes as a producer, I'd be like, okay, we're done. We're done here. You good? You good? You know, and then it's over. But not on that show.
No, we went hard.
And we went hard on the women too. But the men also, like, they would be crying uncle, and we would still be like, no, we're going. We're doing it again.
Yeah.
Was there ever, I'm sorry, I was just trying, was there ever a week we never, was there ever not a Friday shooting into Saturday morning?
Oh no, there always was. Yeah,
there always was.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That was usually Lorraine and Jim, right? Was that usually the Mel
His office, yeah.
Yeah. How was she? How was Lorraine Bracco with you guys? What was she like?
I feel like Lorraine was like me.
She was just a pisser. She was just dirty, vulgar, and fun and to hang out with. And it was just
although my biggest memory of her is when she grabbed your wallet and ran after the Mr. Softy ice cream truck.
My wallet to go after Mr. Softy, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nothing like soft serve, right?
Oh.
She was.
That wasn't a paid for Friday night expense by the crew, by the producers.
At that particular time, no.
We all eat over a garbage can together.
Didn't Jim get you guys like every Friday night was a big special dinner night? Wouldn't he order everyone dinner?
He would just sushi. Or they do manettas.
Manettas. Every now and then, Dave Koch would be in charge of dinner you get McDonald's. Just every now and then.
Yeah, but mostly
it'd be like 1,000 cheeseburgers.
Yeah, Jim would get us. His buddy Doug was a sushi guy, and he'd get it for us like almost every Friday.
Sushi.
And he'd bring Doug sushi, and then and the masseuse.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Stage every Friday, and we'd all get massages. And I remember I'd always be like, I can't go. He's like, yes, you can't go. What do you need? I'll take care of it. Whoa. Go get a massage. And and I would always be like, I can't have too many people to watch. And I remember a couple times he sent the masseuse to my house.
Wow.
Oh, what a good guy,
man.
Bethany, he sent it to my house a couple times because I would never take the 20 minutes or whatever, because I was too.
Well, he loved you. You and Jim had a very special relationship.
He had a love affair. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, you got married.
We did get married.
You said you got married in Vegas.
I officiated the service.
I was the witness.
Exactly.
You guys had too much fun working.
Oh my God.
We had the best time. I mean, if there's any show you can do the rest of your life, it would be this show because we just had so much fun. It was the worst hours, the worst pay, but it was the best times.
We all loved each other.
Yeah.
We all loved each other. We're a family still. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'll always have that bond.
Life.
Yeah.
Changed my life. Best job ever. And I was just back then,
Mm-hmm.
My favorite Jim story was when I was leaving the show at the end of the 6th season, middle of the 6th season, and I was going to start working with Uma Thurman, and Jim at the time was in legal battle with her over some property. And he was really not happy, in the sense that Jim's not happy, although he loves you, but he was not happy.
Yeah.
And so he's like, before you go, we should get a picture together. And I'm like, okay, sure. But I didn't think about it. And then we were on the last setup, and it was in some hotel in New Jersey, in the lobby. And it was one of the rare times he was in a suit jacket and a tie, like just casually. And I was like, oh, this is the perfect time. Let's get that photo. He's like, yeah, I told you I really don't like this, right? And I was like, yeah, I understand. He goes, do you think Uma will see this picture? I was like, well, would you like me to show it to her? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. And they turned to Elizabeth, you got the camera ready? All right, let's do it. Ready? We're going to say cheese on 3, right? 1, 2. And he planted the giantest kiss on me and held it for like 15 seconds. And I have this amazing photo of him making out with me. And I thought, this is Jim to me in a nutshell. Even though he's so angry, he loves you and he cares about you.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Great memory of him.
Oh my, such a smart ass. Always the smart ass.
Yep.
Yeah. Trina, you didn't have heavy scenes that day. As long as he didn't need to put the pebbles in his shoes that day, right, Jen?
Yeah, you guys remember that.
Pebbles and the bottle cap upside down. Yep.
Yeah. Anything.
He was the one who taught me. Oh yeah, he also taught me you should never spray Banaka into your armpits.
Wait, it's a good lesson.
Wait, why is that a thing? Why are we spraying Banaka in our armpits? What is that?
Right,
well, he was doing a love scene and he was afraid that, he hadn't had a chance to have a shower. And I couldn't find a wet one in my bag fast enough. So he's like, grab the Banaka. He's like, I'll just use this. So he sprayed it under his armpits like a deodorant. And then I'm looking at the take and I'm noticing that he's starting to change color. He's going from red to really red to like deep purple and like profusely sweating. And the minute they cut, he screamed, "Camera, get me that one!"
What scene was it? What love scene was it?
That was a love scene with the first Russian girlfriend. I think her name was Irina. Yeah.
She's with the wooden leg?
No, that was
No, that's Svetlana.
Svetlana.
But another good Jim thing, Drea, you would appreciate this one. You know the tear stick thing. Jim one day had a cry, had nothing, and he's like, just give me the damn tear stick. And I'm like, do you know how to use it? He goes, yeah, just give me the damn thing. He grabs it, wipes it on his finger, rubs it on his eyeball. Not under his eye like you're supposed to, where the fumes go into your eye, it creates tearing. He rubs it on his eyeball, and then it starts to burn. He's like, I did that wrong, didn't I? And I'm like, yeah. It's burning. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, that's the worst.
Talk about commitment.
What about Aida? What do you guys have to say about crazy Aida?
Oh, mommy needs the chicken salad. Mommy needs the chicken salad.
Mama, yep.
Boy, I think the Aida was always, the energy that one brings into a room, it's like everything changes the second she goes into a room. It actually happened to me once at the dentist, because we go to the same dentist, and she walked into the dentist's office exactly the same way. It's hilarious.
No.
But do you guys remember the time her and Jim had the fight?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That was ugly.
Oh, yeah.
So
was it a fight scene or a real fight?
No, it was a real fight.
It was,
to talk about this?
It was, are we allowed to talk about this?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
Great. So let's talk about it. And if we need to cut it later, we will.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
But yes, so everyone was very method on the show, always. And they were supposed to be having a fight scene, and we were on the stage, and they started fighting. And then, you could see them like ramping each other up. And then it went to a whole different place. And we were rolling. And then I just remember like leaning over to Billy Coleman and saying, shut it off. Just shut it off. And he shut it off. And then we all, everybody in the room, we went like this. And we all just turned around. And they continued to fight for maybe 20 minutes. And no one knew where to go. do we stay here? Do we try to break it up? So we all just kind of turned around. It was like taking a knee almost. It was our version of like taking a knee. Yeah. And it was crazy. That was the first of a few of those where they used to ramp each other up that way. Well, that was the first time it got really.
Yeah, they had like a real brother and sister relationship where they, loved hard, but they fought hard and they teased each other hard. And sometimes it crossed the line.
He got her on. I think it was Jim who got her to be his sister. I think he got her the role on
wow.
Yeah. They were in Streetcar
they
together.
had acted together on stage.
Right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the case, that he said that's who he wanted to play his sister.
I mean, nobody could have been more perfect, the two of them. And I would imagine that a lot of that fighting was on purpose because the two of them had such a similar style.
Yep.
For acting. I mean, they weren't the technical folks that like hit their marks. This was like animals in a cage. Let the animals out of the cage.
That's probably why he chose her, because he had that.
Totally. Intensity. What scene was that leading into? I'm curious.
Oh, God, I can't remember that.
Which one of 100 fights?
Yeah, I think it was season 5.
I know we were on the stage.
Yeah, it was definitely season 4 or 5 because I was there.
I vaguely remember this. Yeah,
I don't remember which one.
How did David? We had David Preval on, and he was saying that him and Aida used to get into it too.
Oh
what was their relationship like?
That's another tiger in a cage.
You're gonna have to take this one, honey.
No, I'm not taking that one at all.
Yeah, you are.
I'm pleading the fifth in this one.
It was that bad? Oh my God.
Aida liked her legs. Aida had good legs. She always wanted to be in a skirt.
Absolutely.
She has the best legs. Still.
What happened to Kibra?
She said she'd be right back.
I don't know, but my microphone definitely doesn't want to stay near my face. It wants to go into my bukyak.
Because that bukyak is like vacuum.
I know.
Stop sucking the mic in, Dre.
Wow.
Wait a second, guys. I was funny back then. I wasn't like all serious and
no, you were hysterical.
I didn't come into the trailer with drama all the time. What's wrong with me?
If you did, you came off with like the funniest way to present the drama where we all just were in tears laughing.
Yeah.
Oh, so happy.
As long as you remember sausage, egg, and cheese on an English muffin, you were happy.
Oh my God!
What was everybody's breakfast, Ginger? What would Jim eat in the morning?
He would get a burrito, egg white burrito with spinach.
Egg white?
Right.
Mean.
And black coffee.
What about Brocco? What would Brocco do?
I think she got some version of like, it depends. It depended like how she was feeling. There were days that there was some eggs and bacon involved, and then there were some days where it was like, egg and veggies.
I love breakfast in the morning on set. It's my favorite.
It's a good time of day.
Yeah.
So 5 a.m. Do you guys remember season 1? Kristen, you would only remember this probably, and Kimbra, but we started out doing 16-hour days, not 12.
16. It wasn't. We were lucky, Dre, if we did.
Yeah, we did 18-hour days.
With me, I think you did.
We were always pushing 18. Always.
We did that episode, A Hit is a Hit. I feel like we worked until 7 a.m. one morning. I walked home from work, and I had been working since the night before. It wasn't even a night shoot.
Sounds right.
Sounds about right.
That is right. The first season was probably the most grueling experience, yet everybody knew it was something special. So I think that's what got everybody through it. Like you didn't quite know how special it was going to be, but everyone believed in it. Like I don't think there was anybody who for a second thought like this is a dud.
Yeah.
So I think everybody knew.
But also, I didn't expect the crew to bond the way they did.
That's true.
The crew really bonded.
Remember with Danny Leinert, he was doing 9 takes and we got a collection and we offered him money to move on to the next take?
Yep. Yep. I mean, Hollis was in charge
I
of that
think it
one.
was Hollis that was just like, dude, yeah.
Take this, move on to the next
I will
shot,
give
please.
you this money, just move on.
Now, when was it that the crew put into the 16-hour rule? That was the end of what,
It was
season 2?
grueling.
That was
very
the end of season 1.
No, because I was on the show before then, before the crew put in the 16-hour rule. Because I was like, are you crazy?
I know when I got there, season 4, they were still trying to implement it. Because I remember some days.
Yeah, there
Well, it must have been season 3 that they did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It never was the same as season 1. Season 1 was it was insane. I could not believe
brutal.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Wow.
They turned, it was like 7 weeks, 7. Oh, hi, Chicken.
Oh,
I'm so sorry. I'm so
Oh, here.
How are you?
Cheers.
good. How are
did
you?
your meeting go?
Really well, I think.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Kimbra, hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Chris.
Hey, Chris. How you doing?
For all our listeners out there, we call Chicken, but his name is Chris Collins. He was the production coordinator on The Sopranos. And now in quarantine, he's had a lot of other jobs since then. You're no longer a production coordinator.
No.
Right? No. But he's been producing a show that we have all been filming in this quarantine. Ginger directed mine, where I'm acting. Chris wrote it, and it's called Interconnected, and it's gonna be on some sort of platform at some point. But it's like all of these actors made these short films that Chris and his partners wrote, and they're all interwoven in the quarantine. So it's pretty amazing.
That's really cool.
Yeah. It's fun.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's around the world. We got South Africa, Brazil, Israel, Scotland. Emma Thompson is in the one in Scotland.
Emma Thompson.
Oh.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun. How is everybody?
Yeah. Excellent. It's good to see you, man.
So far, so good. It's good to see you.
Yeah. You too.
You defected.
Back and forth.
Chris was also our guest on Made Women, right? Didn't you go through one of the episodes with us on the Made Women show?
Yep. It was, I think it was 113. It was 113.
Wow, good memory.
You know everything, Chicken. You know it all. I was just telling them earlier that you're my number one critique of the podcast, and it's my favorite time when you write me and tell me how you appreciated my review.
I love the reviews. I think I get stuff out of listening to your takes on the show that I never got from watching the shows in the first place. There's some things that I was like, yeah, of course. And then some things I'm like, oh, great, of course.
I don't even know if the writers meant half of the things that I dive into. You know, I do it because I was a film student, so I dive into it like that. I could be going so overboard in my analysis. You know, it's like a piece of art, and we analyze it however it relates to us. It could change from like, you know, the show meant something different to me when I watched it when I was doing it compared to what it means to me now being an old lady.
Well, yeah, we're older.
Old lady.
Oh.
I'm old, please.
Kimbra, I was in a baby when we were all babies.
Yeah. We were all babies.
I'm gonna be 50.
Me too.
Wait, you're gonna be 50?
Not yet. Not yet.
Eventually.
We're 48.
Eventually.
48.
I'm gonna be 49 this year, people.
Yeah,
I'm 50. That's it.
Well, you know, we all were babies then. I mean, Sopranos is where I learned that if you put your shoulder into somebody's breadbasket, you can pretty much pin them any place you want. Which came very helpful when I had to do touch-ups on Jim.
Exactly. Yes.
Dan Grimaldi taught me that, and you'd never think it because he's not exactly a large guy, but yeah, that actually works.
Oh my God.
Who were your favorite short-term cast members on the show? Who did you guys like to deal with the most of some of the people that came in and out?
Oh my God.
That's tough.
No, because I know that hair and makeup and wardrobe sometimes, you know, when we have our own system going, when the new guys come in, sometimes we're like, you know, it can be slightly disruptive. You know, nobody really wants to take the ultimate amount of care of the new players coming in because they're very set with their players that they're used to dealing with.
Well,
so
some of them could be outright crazy.
Yes.
The two people that, for some reason, stuck in my head when you just asked this question, there were two. I loved Chris Coldovino. Do you remember him?
Yes. Yes, I love him.
He was Frank's son. I can't remember his last name. Vincent was his last name, the father. Frank Vincent.
Frank Vincent.
He played his son.
Yes.
He was an awesome guy and really fun to be around. When he had to die, he was like a dead body on a slab for several days, and he was just like a trooper about it. And Jenny Sack, God rest her soul. Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember.
He was a
Denise.
Talk about someone who was at a shopping, correct me if the story's wrong, guys, was at a shopping mall. She's a paralegal. She was at a shopping mall watching The Sopranos being filmed, and David Chase walked over and was like, would you like to be on the show?
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Oh,
Yes.
there's
She has zero acting.
Oh my God. I didn't know that. I
that was
thought
her first show.
that she was with.
I thought it was a competition or something like that she got out.
Yeah, I thought it was an audition that she went to with her friend.
right.
Yeah, it was like a mall competition where everybody lined up at the mall to audition.
Yeah, they had an open casting call on a Sunday there. And David went, and I think Mary Clay Boland, who was casting, and Georgianne, hey. And they all went and had this open casting call on a Sunday. I remember that because we had to like permit the parking lots and all that. And she came out of that.
Were you guys there? Were you at that?
Yeah, but I never even went in the mall. I went to the parking lot.
I heard that it was thousands
Wow, 10,000 people showed up.
Yeah.
That was, we had to shut it down. Remember we shut it down?
Right, that's right.
Yeah, we shut it down.
Kristen, were you there too?
I didn't go. It happened over a weekend, and I forget. There was a PA who went. I forget who it was, and they said it was bedlam. There was no control. They had to shut the cops shut it down. I think.
I shut it down. There was 10,000.
Wow.
But she was the nicest. We were talking about Jenny Sack getting on the show. And just the nicest person in the world. So sweet, zero acting, but whatever any director asked her to do, she would wholeheartedly try to do what they were asking her to do.
Yeah.
True.
I
did her makeup for her wedding.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
You're kidding. Oh, wow.
Aww.
Yeah, I remember David had a very specific image for her. He really wanted her to look like Elizabeth Taylor.
She did.
Now, yeah, well, not knowing that, the colorblind thing affected the way that he saw things.
Mm.
So it's like most of the women were either blonde.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
That's why everyone was blonde or dark hair. That was it.
Wait,
yeah,
David
there was
Chase
no
was colorblind?
David Chase is completely colorblind.
Wait, I look how everybody's shaking their head here. Wait, what? How did that play into? How does everybody know that?
Did you ever notice that everybody on The Sopranos was either blonde hair or dark hair? There was no in between.
No.
Oh my God.
And did you notice there were a lot of heavy shadows?
Yeah.
Yeah. David was colorblind.
So David, how involved was David in picking out?
Oh my God.
Things?
Oh my God.
Extremely.
Yeah.
Especially with the hair department, he was in there like crazy. I actually came across the other day, looking through some photos, I actually came across Jenny Sack's makeup test photos where we tested her in a dark wig and a blonde wig because David was colorblind. He could only see the two extremes. So we had to try both of them for him. It was crazy.
I didn't know that. So what about wardrobe? What was that like, Joseph?
Well, he mostly dealt with Juliet, but I don't know. It seemed that for Juliet, I don't know, how do I put this? What became easier for him, just to say yes or to get involved in a conversation with Juliet? But I think once I came on board, it was just sort of Juliet, if there was something particular, he would ask about it. If there was something he had a very strong opinion about, but otherwise we sort of did our thing there.
I got to talk to Juliet at some point. I haven't yet.
Oh, you have
I'm
to,
sure.
yeah.
I'm sure she went head to head with David because she was very opinionated, and she did. And people generally were not opinionated around David once they get to know that if you have that strong an opinion, you might not have a job after a certain point. So,
but if you also notice, it affected the lighting on the show because he liked the heavy shadows that were cast. He liked the contrast.
Because of being colorblind.
The women weren't too fond of it.
No.
But because needless to say, it would age them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, we looked harsh. We all looked pretty harsh.
That was a huge factor in the look of the show. Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, we were one of the last shows that were probably shooting on film. Really.
I remember when we made the move to HD. And
we did make the move.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't we were a few seasons in before we did that.
Oh yeah, it was like 5 or 6.
Yeah. You weren't even here. Or maybe right after you left, Ray.
That's good, because I would have been so sad to be a part of that. Even though I went on.
We were sad to be a part of it.
Wait, but you,
35 mil, man.
What about when you came back, Dre, as a ghost? Were you on HD then?
Were you guys there when I came back? Because I feel like that was in Paris.
Kristen was there. It was Paris.
I was there.
No, you came back once.
Yes, Kristen were, yeah.
You came back once in a construction of a house. You were in the house. Walking.
Oh, that's right.
Because I was with you for that.
I remember that. That was right after I died, though. That was like season 6, probably not 6A or whatever the hell it was called. What was it? 6A?
6A.
A half.
Do you remember, Drea? Sorry. Do you remember when? Like, you guys have to remember what season this was. Remember, we shot the last episode of a certain season, an FBI female agent, and during the summer, during the hiatus, David decided he didn't like her.
Yes.
Oh my God! Yes. I remember that.
The first thing we had to do when we got back
clarity
was
because
we had to reshoot
everything.
So that he could make sure that scene went in the DVD footage before it was released, and we had to recreate your look exactly. So we only had to use her coverage, but you had that necklace that was a gold heart with a diamond lightning bolt.
A lightning bolt.
And nobody had it, so I'm in the trailer making it from scratch, trying to go from a Polaroid photo. Yeah.
My boyfriend at the time had given that to me, Mike.
Oh. I guess you didn't like Mike anymore because you didn't have the necklace.
She's like, I know, it was a huge heart with a lightning bolt. I don't even know where it is. That must have gotten lost.
Wow. Maybe in the fire.
Wow.
Yeah, that was weird. Reshooting stuff for the previous season we had already shot. Yeah.
Right? Wasn't that crazy?
Well, that's because he was really He was really dissatisfied with the actress that he had selected. So the only way you would have known she would have ever been in it is if you had watched the original version. If you had watched it the first time.
Yeah.
Other than that, you never would know.
You'll never know, But I'm not going to say who she is because she's actually a really great actress. But the reason why that happened is it was beyond her performance. I think it was more about the fact that it was very difficult to tie her down.
Yeah.
She picked me. I don't know. Chris and I talked about this on Made Women.
Yep.
Tie her down? Oh, please. She said she was going out for a cigarette. We had to send out a search party for her. She ended up in catering.
She was hungry. She's like, cigarette, food, I don't know.
I said, listen, we need to keep this moving along. We're due to shoot this show like any minute now. The difference between hair and makeup was a matter of like 2 or 3 minutes at best. And she decided, she's like, can I go out and smoke a quick cigarette? And we're like, okay, but don't go very far. And the next thing you know, she was gone. And we had to send people to look for her.
Yeah.
You guys remember how late she was on the first day?
2 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I was picking her up.
Yeah,
I picked her up.
I remember that. Like,
I waited in the car for 2 hours, and I think it was I don't know who was driving me that day, but he was getting mad. He like I was being disrespected, and I was like, "Do you think I give a?" I said, "A, I'm a fan of hers, so I don't care, And B, she's probably recovering right now from, she's probably recovering from being hungover like me right now in this car. So if we can all just take a 2-hour nap before getting to work and we can blame it on her, I don't give it.
Great. Yeah. Her fault.
Yeah, but no matter how hungover you were, you still showed up. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, I would come to work so hungover.
You showed up no matter what.
We all came to work. So
and you delivered.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing was as
might have gotten in trouble once for being for having a string of tardies.
Wait, did you guys wait? Dre, you got in trouble on Sopranos?
I mean, I don't know if it was Sopranos, but there was definitely a show that I've been on where they were like, you know what, you can't be late every day. I was like, I mean, I'm just like 15 minutes late. Come on, give me a.
Okay. Consider Marchetti and the goat. Okay? During Pie Oh My. He showed up 3 hours late with the goat we needed for the scene. So,
I'm not even there yet. I can't wait till I get to those episodes. What are some of the craziest moments?
Till this day, he's known as Marchetti.
Those of you who don't know, Jeff Marchetti was he set designer or prop?
Set dresser, yeah.
He was set
dresser. Set deck, but he and Jim were like this at the end of the show. They became like best friends. And then eventually he was on the show as Chicky. What was his name?
Edie Bissell.
Edie Bissell.
What was it?
Bissell.
Bishel?
Edie Bissell.
Bissell.
That was his character's name?
Bissell, because he had the Bissell sleeper on the set as a set dresser, so they named him Bissell.
His first name was what?
Petey.
Okay, Petey Bissell. Oh my God, amazing. So yeah, he was on the show, guys. I'm just telling the listeners that. But
I just remember Jim paying him they bet him how much money? I think it was like $50. Jim was like, "You'll never fart in front of Annette Bening," and he did.
Oh my God, he did.
Oh my God. Yeah, why her?
Marchetti would never fart in front of Annette Bening?
No, he did.
Yeah, he did. He did.
For $50, he did.
I think he overpaid. Marchetti would have done that for 20, easy.
He would have done it for 5.
He would have done it for free for the laugh.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Do you guys, speaking of that, do you remember Jim he was filming scenes in the Suburban with the girlfriend who was the macrobiotic eater, and gassing, letting it rip so much while they're in filming, his eyes were watering and they'd yell cut. I remember Kimber going in with a Kleenex all the time. That girl was ripping it you could see it on the monitor.
Oh my God!
I'm macrobiotic.
She was one of the most colorful people to ever be on that show.
Right?
Oh my God!
I hope she doesn't watch this. By the way, Kimbra.
Look at
very nice.
They're real.
Nice.
I was inspired by Adriana.
We still have some of your nails down in the basement.
In the
basement. They come in handy. Doing an 80s show, those nails come in handy.
Mm-hmm.
What are you working on now? What are you guys all working on now?
Well, Steve is in Germany on The Matrix.
Yeah, I'm doing The Matrix 4 right now.
Amazing.
Oh, my kids would be very excited.
Come visit.
I'm starting up City on a Hill season 2 because we shut down because of COVID.
Yeah.
No, I know everybody on that show. That's great.
On that show, I don't know anything, guys, because I watch nothing. I'm clueless.
Wait, Kimbra. Is Sarah Shahi on that show?
Yes, she is.
She used to be.
Who came to Vegas?
She's not on this season.
Nope.
And believe it or not, I love Sarah Shahi, and I'm really sad that she's not on this season.
Yeah, she's so pretty.
But the Vegas trip that we may or may not ever speak of.
Oh my
Can you please
God.
tell us just a little bit about the Vegas
Oh,
trip?
come on.
I have photos from the Vegas trip.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and we're leaving at that.
Well,
I mean, one part of the story.
we can talk about we give like the PG version. Well, Jim
Yeah.
got married and Steve officiated. We covered
Yes,
that.
Ginger and Jim got married in Vegas. It was a beautiful ceremony.
And then we had our honeymoon in one of the suites and put the robes on and the whole thing. I could not believe how into that he was and how it was his idea, by the way.
Oh my God, he was loving every minute of that.
Yeah, it was so funny. But no,
But you can, Jim, tell the story about how you guys shot there, and then Jim said, "Come here, look at this room. What are we going to do?"
Well,
and you can do what leads up to the room, but don't talk about what happened in the room.
No, that was ugly.
Well, the room was like the least of it.
Yeah, exactly. No, so
Ginger, you were like the anchor for so many human beings on that show.
Yeah.
100%.
You really were.
Yeah.
And as I remember, my own husband, I love you, honey. But
This was in Florida, though, so it's in Vegas.
I will never forget the text. That was in Florida. I will never forget the text where you said, "I'm naked on the floor and I can't find Ginger," and I had to text Ginger to actually find where she was.
Wait,
I'm like, "My husband's looking for you. Where'd you go?"
I'm naked on the floor and I can't find Ginger. I said that before.
Steve, the best pictures of you and Jim giving me a foot massage. You guys are in the pool and I'm sitting on the ledge of the pool and I'm in Jim's swim trunks because I didn't have a bathing suit and a t-shirt. And that was another epic night, that Florida.
Remember that, Florida or Vegas?
No, that was Florida.
Oh, Florida, when we got kicked.
Many epic stories.
Oh my God. When we started in the pool, got kicked out of the pool, moved to the beach, beach patrol showed up.
And then snuck back into the pool. And then ended up in Jim's hotel room ordering probably $1,000 worth of pancakes and room service.
And who was with you guys? Who from the cast was with you guys?
Oh my God. I remember Tony Sirico was down there, but he wasn't with us hanging out partying.
Jim was the only one who partied with us. It was us. Yeah. It was Jim and then us, like the department heads who they brought down.
Yeah. It was like Jim and the crew.
Right. Yeah. So like always.
Always.
I remember being in Jim's shower at one point. I don't remember. It was like all glass and everyone was just hanging out. It was like a party. It was weird.
In his shower.
In his shower?
Yeah, it was like a glass shower that was like was exposed to the whole room. Yeah. And there were people hanging out just in the shower.
Yeah.
Vegas. That was normal. Totally normal in Vegas.
That was Miami.
But remember Vegas? My favorite part of Vegas, the favorite part that I could talk about in Vegas, remember when we were filming by the pool and then Alan, the director, and I decided to take Jim and throw him in the pool?
No.
As soon as we cut on a scene, Alan, our director, and I decided we were going to take Jim and just barrel roll him into the pool, no matter what. And Alan, we decided okay, on the count of three, we're going to do it. Both of us were going to attack Jim at once and put him in the pool. And Alan went immediately, and I was like, "Oh crap!" And Jim was starting to win, and I just had to come up behind him and just put my weight into him, and we just went flying into the pool. Luckily,
all three of you went flying in?
Oh God, our set photographer Craig got some great action shots of us going through the air and into the water. Oh my God, they're beautiful. It's like some of my best memories.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I gotta get those pictures from HBO.
That Vegas trip, when we got there, it was like we had like a half a day to like party before we had to work the next day.
Right.
You remember, Kristen? They were like, "Jim needs to see you. He wants a fan." I'm like, "What the why do I gotta go bring him a fan?" Like, what? Because he always liked the fan. He didn't like the AC. And I'm like, all right. And so I get a fan from the concierge. I go upstairs and I knock on the door and I'm so mad. I'm so annoyed at him. He opens the door like a little kid. He's like, "Get in here." He's like, "Look at this. Look at what they gave me." They gave him, it was when Caesars had just opened like the all suites building, remember? And they gave him the top floor, the whole top floor. It had a 360 like outside deck with a putting green, jacuzzi, barbecues. He had a butler, and he was freaking out. He was like, "Oh my God, can you believe? Look at this room. What am I going to do with all the space?" I'm like, "We got to have a party."
Yeah, exactly, and we did.
I was like, "Have a party." And he was like, "Okay." He was like, "All right, well, if you can figure it out, then we'll do." I'm like, "Are you serious?" Because I would always tell him, because he's safe to me, and I'm like, "Make sure that what you're saying to me is what you mean, because you know that's what I'm going to go do, or what I'm going to go say what you just said."
Yeah.
And he was like,
Smart, Ginger. Smart.
And I got with the hotel liaison and planned this whole party, and we had this epic frat party.
It was insane. Yes.
That was the best party I've ever been to, ever.
But do you remember how he got that hotel room, though? He was really smart about it. His agent said the only thing Jim requests in Vegas is a room where the window opens because he likes fresh air. Well, in Vegas, no rooms have windows that open because they're suicide jumpers. So the only ones that open are the ones that are the penthouse suites. And that was the slickest, smartest move I've ever seen in my life. And I've actually done that myself since then, and I've won just like Jim.
Ooh, it works.
It works. Oh, it 100% works. I always ask for a window that will open. And
absolutely. Always ask for that. Yep.
How do they know that you're not the suicidal one? Like, what if the guy, can I have a window that opens? You know? I don't know.
Good point.
That is a good point.
If I am, they win, they don't have to pay me, okay? That's all there is to it.
Were there any good stories from Asbury Park? I can't remember because I was there, but I remember also being, I think it was me, Stevie,
that's the Marchetti Goat
and Michael.
That hotel was straight out of The Shining. Come on.
It was haunted.
The only thing it was missing was a set of dead twins.
What hotel? Because I lived in Asbury Park. What hotel was it?
It's not the Asbury, it's the other one. I could look this up really quick.
I would say,
what about the Act called Beauty and the Grease? Do you remember
that? Oh my God, Beauty and the Grease in the bar. Holy crap, I forgot about them.
Yeah.
Jog my memory. Tell me more, because I was hammered.
Wait.
Yeah.
I think at least
it's the only way you could have dealt with that hotel is being hammered.
It's the Berkeley.
Chris, wasn't that where at least six crew members went into their hotel rooms at the end of like a 19-hour day, and other crew members were sleeping.
People were in their rooms, yes.
Well,
Yes. Oh my God. Wait,
what? Got into bed with Noreen, not realizing she was there.
I think I remember this.
Yeah.
Hey, Chicken, we didn't hear what hotel, what was it, the Berkeley?
Oceanfront.
Oh my God.
That was like when it was broken down on the boardwalk, right?
It's right. It's like
it was a mess.
Yeah, and it was super old, and they had like actual keys. They didn't have they had actual keys, so they had key copies made for everybody. And I don't know if you remember this, the Robert De Niro movie City on the Sea was also shooting there, and they were going out and we were going in, and they just didn't keep track of the keys, so they gave the same sets of keys to like 6 or 7 different people, and people got in bed with everybody.
Yeah, it was nuts. I don't think I was ever in my
the only
room.
thing that was missing in that hotel was a set of bloody twins.
Yeah.
However, that hotel now has been completely refurbished, and it's like $300 a night to stay there now.
It's gorgeous.
As you know,
of course.
So,
yeah, it's all redone.
Ginger, what was the hotel where we've been in so many hotels on the show where you'd call for a wake-up call, and you would, like, at 4:00 in the morning, the phone would ring, and you'd say hello, and you just hear a guy going, "Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up."
I remember that.
That's right.
What was that?
That was either Atlantic City or the Apple Orchard.
Oh my God, the
Apple Orchard.
Oh my God.
Yep.
I remember we looked at each other. Remember we looked at each other, and I said, "Did you get like a weird wake-up call?" And you look and you go, "Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up."
We said that for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have been a part of the crew, to be traveling with you guys doing
Oh my
all
God.
that stuff. Because I wasn't there for any of that. I was just there for Asbury Park, man.
Oh, Atlantic City.
Oh.
I wasn't there
my
for
God.
that one
The
either.
thing that was the worst, the one we were most scared of, is when Jim was the king of Bacchus in Mardi Gras.
Oh, that was one that everybody asked me. Why are you letting your husband go down with him?
Yeah, but it was like, yeah, Jim was the king of the Bacchus parade of Mardi Gras. And he was allowed to have like 12 or 13 of us as like his court. And we were so scared to even go there because
you guys went to New Orleans.
Florida went, how Vegas went, how Italy went. We're just like, and now we're going to Mardi Gras? Are you effing kidding us?
Yeah.
So we were scared to death. And we landed in the Vegas airport with the chief of police and the whole police department escorting us into town.
New Orleans.
Wait a second. Tell him the name of the person who was in charge of escorting you around.
Well, the guy who was in charge of the Bacchus parade, his name is Mike Hunt.
Why were you guys scared? What would happen? Like, it was just like people.
In every town we've ever been in, like between Florida, with the stories that Ginger will tell you, we cannot tell anyone about what happened.
Right.
In Vegas, the stories that we cannot talk about. In all the cities that we cannot talk about.
They used to close bars early when they know we were done shooting.
Yeah. But Mardi Gras.
If we were on a distant location.
We were scared to death of Mardi Gras because when we landed in Mardi Gras, the chief of police said, "Welcome to New Orleans. Anything you want to do is legal. If you kill somebody and we see it, we might have to do something. But other than that, enjoy."
Yeah.
And the chief of police himself was saying, "Do you want hookers? What do you want? We'll take care of you." And we were like, "Oh my God."
My God.
So we were all so scared to death of what could happen. And we actually were on really good behavior because we were so scared. But the funniest thing of New Orleans was the day of the Mardi Gras parade itself. We saw the parade, the float that we had to be on, and we were getting dressed. Jim had us all in our tuxes. Jim was getting into his weird outfit he had to be for the king. And Jim asked the guy in charge, Mike Hunt, which is the best name ever. He's like, "Well, what's on the float? Do we have alcohol? Do we have food? What do we have?" He's like, "Well, what do you want? We got like subs and beer." He's like, "Yeah, you got anything harder than beer?" He's like, "Just give us a list of what you want." So the chief of police had one of the officers go around to each one of us with his pad and write down what we each wanted from the liquor store. And the chief of police came up and goes, "Watch this, you're going to love it." And we walked to the window of the convention center we were getting dressed at, and we looked out the window. The officers got into their police car. They drove off with their lights and sirens on.
Oh my God.
10 minutes later, he says, "Go back to the window again." We went back to the window, police car, lights and sirens on again, flying back in, screeching into the convention center, and two cops getting out with boxes full of booze just coming to us. It was like a scene out of Animal House. I mean, we could just anything we wanted. They were just like, "You got it." And it was
that is scary.
I was the only girl invited to that. Jim was trying to get me to go. Do you remember this? Do you remember? And I was
Why
like,
am I not surprised?
I don't know if it's a good idea for me to go.
I don't want to see anything.
What was it? Was it HBO PR?
Huh?
What was it? Was it an HBO PR thing? And they wanted him.
No, he was the king. He was
it was a scene.
Yeah.
It was work related.
Okay, wait a minute. He was the king of Mardi Gras, but what? He just decided that he just said yes and accepted the invitation and brought a bunch of you guys with him. Is that what it was?
Well, absolutely. That's all it was.
Buddies, because we were shooting at the time, and he brought his buddies that he grew up with, Doug and all those guys, and then he brought a bunch of guys from the crew.
Yeah.
I didn't go. Thank God. I decided at the last minute not to go.
Oh my God.
Probably should have.
I would have been keeping all you in check.
Exactly.
She's naked on the floor of Bourbon Street, and Ginger's not here.
Exactly. Well, the funniest thing was like when we got back, because the company was shooting while we were doing this.
Right.
When we got back, because I remember when we were flying out of the airport, we were all on like separate flights, and I remember Jim and I texting back and forth, going, "Oh my God, I'm going to die. We're drunk." I mean, like so drunk. When we got back, we left Mardi Gras, New Orleans, like on a Friday, came back to work on a Monday. And I remember Robert Eiler turned to me in the makeup trailer on that Monday and goes, "Holy crap, you reek of alcohol." And that was left over from the previous week. I mean, it was bad.
Oh my God, we partied hard. We really did. I was one of the worst for sure. I mean, and Michael had the bar. I mean, we were all out of control. Do you guys ever end up at Manitoba's late at night?
Yeah.
After shooting?
Yeah.
Playing pool at Dick Manitoba's?
Yep. Did Edie Falco ever hang out with you guys? Was she partying ever, or she just kind of did her thing and disappeared?
No, she just kind of did her thing.
Yeah. Except for the Prince night. Except for the
Prince night. Yes.
Oh, except for that. That's right.
What night? What night?
Prince.
Prince had like a small intimate concert. All of a sudden, Edie came out.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a good reason to come out. She's like, I'm not going to hang out with these clowns, but I will come out for Prince.
And we went straight from there back to Silver Cup and slept on the couches because we had call in like 2 hours.
Oh, wow. I don't remember the Prince night. There were so many Prince nights. He always invited, he was always inviting the Sopranos to everything, which I thought was super cool.
Well, that was the thing. I think that what was interesting is that, he didn't like to do publicity, which we all know. So anything that he was invited to, the invitation was extended to everyone. And it was like, if you want me, these clowns have to come too. That's right. And we all were kind of the protective bubble of each other and everybody within the bubble. And that was, I think, what made it very, very different than like other casts and other shows, is that he never really wanted to be the star. He just wanted everybody to go along for the ride all the time, because that's what felt best to him and felt right for him. And it was always cool. It was fun. We all, I mean, what about the Bruce Springsteen concert? I mean, that was
that was amazing.
About that, Stevie would get us like a whole section for the Soprano crew, and we'd all go party and watch Springsteen, and then go backstage.
And then we'd have the after party.
I still got my pass from that. Silvio Dante's backstage or whatever it is. Yeah.
Remember the time Maureen came out into the pit at the concert?
Yes, and we were all like, oh my God, we have to protect her.
And Stevie couldn't stop. He was so obsessed with that.
Yes, he wouldn't. He let her stay for 4 minutes, and then he pulled her back out.
Yeah. Oh, the best.
Wow, I love it. I remember all those times. But you know what it was, though, too, with the show, is that it was my first big acting job, and I didn't know, I don't know what the cast system of a TV show is or whatever. To me, it was just like your faces. Those were the faces I was used to seeing. It wasn't so much the actors. I didn't spend as much time with the actors because I wasn't in a lot of scenes with them. But I would see you guys all the time when I would be there, I mean, Steve and Kimbra would be the first faces I see. Joseph's would be all day long. And at the last face I would see, Kristen's always there. Chicken in and out because you were in the office. Right. But, I mean, you're chicken. And then Ginger, forget about it. Up my ass all day long. We got to go here, we got to go there, we got to go here. So when we used to hang out and party at night and stuff, it wouldn't be with the actors as much, except for Jim. Jim would usually be around. It would be Jim or Michael.
Michael, yeah.
But that was really that was what I remembered more than anything else, except for the big events like awards and shit like that. Yeah. But I remember like being at what were the bars that we used to go to when we were shooting. I never had that experience again, by the way, after a TV show. This was the only TV show that I knew I could leave work and go have a drink with someone. I haven't worked on a show where I could do that again.
Well, I think that's one of the things that like just speaks to the group of people who worked on the show, is that we worked 16 to 18 hours together, and then we still wanted to see each other's faces and hang out.
We wanted more of each other, yeah.
We couldn't get enough of each other.
You wanted more. Yeah. You wanted more. Yeah.
It was pretty special, and it doesn't happen often. And we're all still in each other's lives in one way, shape, or form. Some closer than others, but we're all, to me, like all family. Like I texted all you guys. Some of you I haven't spoken to in a while. Said, Dre wants to do this, and you guys are like, sign me up. It's like no hesitation.
Well, you know what's so great, Ginger, is that there's been so much conversation over the years, many years, about, oh, we're all going to get together and have a reunion. We're all going to get together. This is the closest thing we've had to it. So thank you.
Yeah.
Our quarantine Zoom. But the real reason why I brought you guys here today is because I have a burning question.
Uh-oh.
Who was on set when Joey Pants is in the back room of the Bing maybe or a card game, and there's a pan going across the room and everyone's passed out and he has his pants down?
I remember, Kristen.
I remember that.
I don't remember
pulled a prank on everyone. You don't remember, Steve? I feel like this would be a story that you would
because
tell.
he wanted a flag sticking out of his butt.
Right. Oh my God, I remember that. Yes.
Oh.
And Marquetti put the pretzel in his ass.
Yeah. It was a breadstick.
It was a breadstick. Yes.
Yes.
Nope. I remember that. Yes.
You guys
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh.
And it was with that Swedish actress.
Oh,
she was like a 6-foot blonde.
Oh, I absolutely remember that. That was brilliant. Yes.
Dre, did you ever get a sense? Did you ever get a sense from actors who came in onto the show if they were like, were we a welcoming bunch to them? Or was it like incredibly intimidating because everyone was so close and they came in? Or did they just like love being there? Or was it weird? Did you ever get that sense from other cast members?
Because I didn't really have much to do with any of the other cast members, but I asked you guys that question earlier about day players coming in and out, or even just, people who had an arc, because normally it is that way. They feel uncomfortable. I know I feel uncomfortable usually.
Here's the thing with the day players and the new cast members. Do you guys remember what the prop department did for their chair, their cast chair? It said, "The new guy."
Oh no!
Right.
Oh,
It just said "the new guy," and that was it. And it was like the most intimidating group you could come into, and everyone was like, "Oh crap!"
And I also remember going. Go ahead.
It's hard to remember anything else beyond the prop truck catching on fire.
Yeah. Season 2.
How did that happen?
And the season 2.
Well.
Yep.
How did that happen?
Holiday pyrotechnics goes in the prop truck.
What was it?
Can you ask? Because
it was a Christmas decorating contest.
Yeah.
Seamstress went missing?
Things just went missing is what I'm saying. And then the prop truck caught on fire.
Wink, wink.
Oh, sounds like some more drama.
Yeah, exactly.
Drea, going back to your question, I will say that I do recall when we would go in to dress the newcomers, they often would ask, "Is everybody nice?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your answer?
I would always say, of course, this is the nicest group of people you ever get to work with.
Yeah.
Just stay away from Dre because she's crazy. I actually, I go out of my way when people are new on set because I know what it feels like to be that guy. So I really, if an actor is stumbling on their lines because they're nervous, like I'm the guy that's like, let's take our time, let's go for 30,000 takes today.
Well, also, yeah, but that's also because you never know your lines either. So
you know something? You can just pipe down, Jen.
Now, do you guys actually remember, because we were such a tight group, do you remember, I forget his name, the director that came on that we actually made cry because the crew was like, "No, we're done. We're moving on. This is how we do things." I forget who it was, but we were like, he wanted to do certain things a certain way, and we're like, "No, not in our formula. Bye." And we just we dictated how things were done. Who was that?
100% tough on directors that were not part of the machine.
Yeah,
including big film directors like Mike Figgis.
Yeah.
That's the one who made me cry. We made Mike Figgis cry.
No.
Yes.
I know who it was. It was the guy who does all David Nutter. That's who it was.
Nutter.
Oh, Nutter.
I think you're right.
Yep, I think you are right. Yep.
Really
Tamahori had a really tough time too. Do you remember
But it was like, we had such a system going. We knew how it was a machine.
Yeah.
And it was like, if a new person came in and they wanted to try something so far outside of our formula, it was like, no. We took over as a crew. We're like, this is how it's done. And they were
this
like,
is how it works.
Yep.
Danny Liner was the one who did the liner niner. Even if someone had to walk into a room, there would be 9 takes.
Yeah.
Even though there wasn't any dialogue involved.
Weiner?
That's how come we got up a fund to try and bribe him to move on to the next shot.
Oh.
Wait, were you talking about Weiner? Of
Danny Liner.
Danny Liner, not Matt Weiner.
Oh, Danny Liner. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know who that was.
No, the one who directed Dude, Where's My Car?
Right.
Oh my God.
Right back.
You know what I remember most? The amount of food. How much food there was in the show and how much Jimmy would eat during rehearsal.
Rehearsals, all of them. Yes. Remember? And I'd be like, why? Why are you stop eating him? Shrimp,
it was delicious.
All of them. They just be bones, like eating.
But why did they always get such good food for the friggin' scenes?
Because the guys was gonna eat it all, so they had to.
All day.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah. Do you remember the steaks? They got maybe 35 steaks, and then the guys kept eating the steaks in rehearsal. And every flip out because by the time we started shooting, there was no steak.
Yes. They would eat, and then they'd be sick and complaining that they ate too much, and like, it's your own fault. We told you during rehearsal to stop eating.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, the thing that I remember Jim eating the most is talcum powder when he wanted to have a dry mouth.
Oh my God.
Wait, what? Why would he, what? What is that?
He was method, so it's like if he had to have a dry mouth, he would eat talcum powder.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yep.
Oh
my God.
Steve, did you just get yourself another drink?
Yeah.
I think he went
moved on to beer.
Wine to beer. You're going to be hungover.
All right, I finished a bottle of wine. I'm on my second beer. I have to be up in like 6 hours for work.
Kelly.
Screw it.
Like the old days.
Like old time. Like old time, Steve.
Yeah.
Steve, tell us about some of your crazy effects that you did on the show.
Oh God.
The big ones, the big things.
Well, Joey Pants' head.
But the bigger ones were the heads, like Joey Pants' head, which scarily enough was
have
like,
it?
Legally, no, I don't.
It may or may not be in the basement.
Yeah.
You could sell that.
The non-existent basement it may be in. Actually,
And
Joey
not
Pants.
for nothing, they are your hands.
Exactly. So Joey Pants' head was the first head I ever made in my life. I didn't know what I was doing. And
I remember.
I had never done one before, but I always wanted to try one. And I remember I made the first one. It was horrible. And I talked to Robin and Mitch and David. I'm like, look, give me one more shot. Let me try again. And I did a second one, which was better. It wasn't great, but it was better. It was usable for what we had to do. But since the way he was killed, he had to have his head and his hands in the bowling bag. But his hands, I took the molds of his hands, but every time I poured them out in silicone, I'm like, something's wrong. And I'm like, no, his hands really are that girly and feminine and just dainty. So, but no one would believe that those hands were really a man's hands, so I had to use my own hands for his hands. So, but then the next heads I had to do, I did a better job on, which was the Phil Leotardo heads that had to be driven over by the car. I had to do those. And actually, those heads were the ones that, are the funniest story because, that's the Fat Dom
Are
head.
those the ones you almost shot over?
No, those are the Fat Dom heads. So I had to do the Phil Leotardo heads, so I did a bunch of those. And then the Fat Dom heads were like the third heads I ever did in my life. So the Fat Dom heads, when we had to do his head being cut off and put in the freezer, I actually was racing because David said, I need rehearsal heads, I need hero heads for the shots. So I had to do like 6 different heads. And I had like a week and a half to do them, which is no time whatsoever. Oh. So I'm getting them done. I'm exhausted. I'm working like 20 hours a day, getting no sleep whatsoever, you know, round the clock. And Dave is like, I want to see these heads. We're shooting them, blah, 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 blah. So I take the 2 nice hero heads of Fat Dom and I have them on stands. I just finished them. The paint's drying on them. I put black trash bags over top of them. I strap them in the back of my truck because I have like the back seat of my truck. They're in there. So they're not in the cab, but they're in the back seat, strapped down with black trash bags over it. And Dave is like, I want to see them at like 9 a.m. in my office before they go on camera. Okay, great. So I'm exhausted, no sleep whatsoever. I'm racing to see David at Silver Cup. And on the George Washington Bridge, I get into a fender bender because some jackass just cuts me off and I slam into the back of him with my truck. And I'm like, great. It's like I slam into the back of this minivan that cuts me off, and then he goes into the back of this other car. And I'm like, this is a nightmare. I call Kimber or text Kimber and say, I'm going to be late. I just got into a big accident. So needless to say, the cop's walking, you know, pulls us off to the side. She's walking around my truck, you know, she's walking around every vehicle trying to get, you know, the damage reports and stuff. So it's time for her to walk around my vehicle.
Oh my God.
She just happens to look in the back window of my truck and she freezes and starts shaking.
We have a serial murderer here.
Done. And she gets on her radio and she calls code something, 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 please stand by. And she's freaking out with her voice trembling. She goes, sir, what is this in the back of your vehicle? I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And I'm just like walking towards her. She's like starts lifting her gun. She's like, slow. And I'm like, whoa, what the hell is going on? All I'm thinking about is the accident we just had. So I walk to the back of my truck and I look in and I'm like, oh, shit. All I see is the 2 severed Fat Dom heads in trash bags that snapped off the stands. So all you see is 2 black trash bags with severed heads in them. And I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, okay, I'm going to talk very slowly and very calmly. I said, this is what I do for a living. I'm a special effects makeup artist. These are fake heads. She's like, they don't look fake to me. I'm like, thank you very much. I worked very hard on them. So I'm like, do you want to touch them? She's like, oh, hell no. But I said, will you allow me to slowly open the door so I can show you that they are fake? She goes, very slowly. So I open them up and I show her that the 2 are exact similar heads. I show her there's a pipe going through the head that the stand fit on. So she's like, okay, they're fake. But at the same time, Kimbra tells David, Steve got into an accident and that, you know, something's going on. And I'm giving her updates throughout this whole thing and also texting her, like, okay, the cop almost shot me. You know, she's got his heads in the back of my car. I'm giving her this whole long list as I'm going through this on the bridge itself. And so the cop finally says, okay, it's fake. It is what it is. Writes the accident report, says, okay, you can all go. So I get to Silver Cup and I get to David's office and I'm freaking out because it's David Chase. You don't want to piss David off. I'm well over an hour, if not more, late for meeting David. So I'm like, oh, this is going to suck. He's going to be pissed. So I get to his office. I got the heads. I like re-prepped them, fixed the hair, put them on the stands, came into his office. He goes, I want to see. I'm like, all right, let me show you the heads. He's like, no, I want to see what the cops saw. What? I want to see what they saw when they looked in the back of your car. I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. So I had to redo the whole things with the heads coming out of trash bags as David, the Prince of Darkness, is laughing his ass off. And yeah, so I had to show him how it's done. And my favorite part is after doing the meeting with David, David was laughing. He was happy. He loved the heads. He was like, this is great. Excellent. Our security for Sopranos were former crime scene FBI guys. Oh. And these guys, they knew all the guys that the show was based on. So they had heard the story of what had happened. So when I saw them, they were just laughing and they're like, please tell us what happened again. We want to hear it ourselves. I told them, and they're like, oh, we would have shot you right off the bat and asked questions later. They're like, there's no question. We would have sat there and just let you explain. They're like, we would have shot you. I was like, great.
We did that with a body once. Remember, we dropped the body off the bridge, and was it Patterson? And then we just totally
never recovered it.
God, yeah, that was a whole incident.
Oh,
was
what
never
happened?
recovered,
Great
yes.
Falls of Patterson.
Kristen, tell us the Patterson story.
So one of the episodes, we dumped a body off a bridge. Someone was supposed to be jumping off a bridge, and it was a dummy. And we're such dummies and geniuses that we forgot that we actually had to take the body out. So I think the cops found, or a floater floated up like a few days later or something. And we got in trouble.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That was season 1, wasn't it?
That made the news.
That was season 1, right.
It was season 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God.
It was the Great Falls of Patterson, and I forget, it was two of the guys Michael Imperioli was hanging out with season 1. I forget the characters' names.
Oh, I know. Brendan.
Brendan Malone or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Brendan got shot in the bathtub by Sapienza.
Right. They took care of somebody at the Great Falls of Patterson. I remember.
Those guys were funny.
Wow. It was in the news, Kimbra, you said?
Yeah.
Great. Oh my God.
Get in trouble.
Always get in trouble, you guys, apparently.
Always recover your body.
Remember the apple orchard when Harry Levy went out and met a girl at the bar, at the hotel bar, and took her back to his room, but it turned out to be a town cop's girlfriend, and he showed up with his gun and everything else. Does anyone remember that?
God.
Who was that? Was that one of the
Harry Levy's?
Yeah.
Harry Levy was in Transpo, and he picked up a girl at the hotel bar, brought her back to his room, and she was the girlfriend of a local cop, and the cop showed up in his room, guns drawn and everything else.
Oh,
wow.
That's brilliant. I wish I could have seen that one.
Yep.
Wow.
They're singing Sweet Caroline with
I was going to say that
Charlie Foster.
That was the big karaoke nights we had.
Yeah.
The first night we were there, I made friends with the 2 old ladies. Remember, it was these 2 like 60-something-year-old ladies who were in charge of bringing the karaoke machine to the hotel like 2 nights a week. And I was like, you have to come every night. 2 weeks. And that was when I used to pimp out like Jim and Michael Imperioli and Stevie. And who was there? Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi was there.
And they would do anything for the crew. So I'd be like, listen, I need you to sign these. I need you to take a picture with this lady, and they're going to come every night and do karaoke for the crew. And they'd be like, okay, cool. And they'd be like, amazing. Karaoke every night and got hammered every night while we were up there shooting. It was the best.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Anything we asked them to do, they would do. Anything.
100% anything. There was nothing you couldn't ask. I remember when I first started on the show, remember I got into that accident in the cab on the way home?
Yep.
Yep.
And I had just been on the show like a month or something. And I remember like Jim sending a care package to the hospital, like people like calling. And I was like, these guys don't even know me, but they were like everybody just immediately like, whatever you need. And I'll never forget walking Michael Imperioli into the hair and makeup trailer. And he was going up the stairs and he turned around and he was like, are you sure you're okay? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, because you're part of the family now.
Oh,
like,
no.
That was it. And then everybody was family. Always.
What about Christmas time, Jen? Christmas time on the set of The Sopranos. For Ginger. Only for Ginger, not for anybody else.
No, that's true. That's not true. So I'm going to tell you, my favorite is Stevie Van Zandt. So every year at Christmas, for whatever reason, we'd be sitting in Vesuvio. We'd be shooting in Vesuvio, and he would be sitting at the table, and he would have someone call for me.
Yeah.
And I would go down, and he'd say, the way he talks, and he would point to people. This is after years and years and years of being there. He would say, that guy, and he'd point to like Steve. What does he do? And I would say, Stevie, what do you mean, what does he do? He literally does your makeup every single day. You not know what he does. And then he would have his checkbook, and he would write a check, fold it, and say, here, give this to him.
Right.
Next person will walk by, and he would say, what does that guy do? And I'd be like, that's Joseph. He dresses you every single day. We would do this.
Really? Stevie was oblivious?
What?
At the beginning, yeah.
Oh, in the beginning, okay.
Yeah. He wouldn't go in with everybody else. Everyone else, they were so generous. They used to like give money for Christmas. And I will never forget my baby shower in Vesuvio. I mean, it was like,
oh my God, I forgot about that. Yes.
Oh,
wow.
You know, everyone was just so ridiculous, but Stevie would do his own thing. And it was the same every year. And it was the same people. Like he'd point to Dre and be like, what does she do?
He would send us these awesome care packages of books. I mean, every year I would get these giant care packages of like all these amazing rock and roll memorabilia books.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, they were all super generous. Yeah, my first Christmas there, I remember, you know, Jim wants to see you in his camper. And I'm like, okay. And I go over there and he hands me an envelope that, I'm not kidding, is like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like thousands of dollars. Now I'm a PA who makes $500 a week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like,
we all chipped into your booth. They would send that envelope around the whole.
Yeah. And so I didn't know. And I was like, what is this? And he was like, that's for you. And I'm like, well, I don't understand. And he's like, that's for you from all of us for putting up with all our asses and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I can't take this. And he was like, yes, you can. And he was like, we all chipped in, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right. But then as I was there longer, everybody wanted to give me their money themselves. And then I had to go from like camper to camper.
That's the worst.
And collect.
It was like trick-or-treating.
It was embarrassing, but awesome. But yeah, same thing like I remember the first time we went to Atlantic City and they were like, they all gave me money to gamble. And I'm like, and I would fight with them. And I'm like, I don't gamble. I don't need this. They're like, well, then just go buy yourself something. And I'd be like, all right. But they were most generous guys, all of them. I mean, Jim especially, but all of them.
Yeah.
What about Sirico? Sirico is, because he was such a real, you know, Sirico really comes from the world. He comes from the life, 100%. You know, I remember my first day shooting with Sirico, he made me cry.
Really?
I think
I could see that.
He made me cry. He said, he looked at my ears and he was being affectionate and loving and telling me that like I was pretty, you know, I was young, I was a kid. And he looks at my ears and he goes, Madon, you got Clark Gable ears.
Just remember one of our additionals.
And I was like, oh my God. And all I wanted was for hair to take my hair down.
Oh.
Sirico,
Do you remember the time I told him that he could probably get Aquanet to
sponsor him?
And then he became obsessed with that idea and he just kept calling Aquanet whoever he could talk to.
He did? Tanaka too.
They took out 2 freaking wind machines to try and mess his hair up, and it didn't move. It just kind of bent and then sprung back into place.
That's right.
Yes.
If anything's an advertisement for Aquanet, I would have to say it would be that.
Now, Kimbra, you're about the only one who's probably going to remember this. Ginger, you may remember this. With Sirico, he was like every actor because you never knew if you were going to get killed or not, what was going to happen, because there was no rhyme or reason to anything. It's like anyone could be killed at any moment, which is the brilliance of the show. Sirico was so paranoid he was going to be killed. He's like, there's 2 things. I'm not a rat and I'm not gay. He's like, those are the 2 things. He's like, those are that. Now, I went to David Chase. I'm like, David, I want to screw with Sirico really bad. Can I do it? He's like, what are you talking about? I said, I want to write a script where he dies as a gay rat.
I remember.
Oh, Kimber, you remember this? Okay, so I wrote this whole script because whenever we got the scripts, we would usually, as a crew, we'd get them before the cast would, which was really weird.
Right.
So we would get them, and if Sirico would see them, he'd walk in the trailer, he'd grab it and run and look through it and find his parts.
They'd always be wanting to know what happened next, try and grab the scripts from us.
Yeah, exactly. So Sirico would always grab it, want to know what's going on, figure it out. So I wrote a fake script, and I asked David, I'm like, are you cool with if I do this? Just to really mess with
when you did that.
Yeah. So I wrote a scene with him being killed as a rat, And I mean, he was crushed in a garbage truck, and there's a white loafer that fell out of the truck. I mean, the details were like really there. And I showed it to David. David laughed his ass off. He's like, "Oh, please do this." So I just left it laying on the counter as the next episode number. And Sariko, as usual, grabbed it, took the script, read it, and came back going, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?" He like lost his mind that I had killed him off, and he thought David was doing it. And I was literally crying, tears coming out of my eyes.
Was he crying?
He was so obsessed with knowing what was going on and stealing scripts whenever he could. It was hysterical.
Almost every night, too, to ask when the script was coming out and if you knew anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You hear anything? You hear anything?
Yeah.
Tell me if you hear anything.
How about
obsessed with that, though.
He'd come to work in the morning, he'd get out of his town car, and he'd hug me, because I would be there to greet everybody as they landed.
Twin car service.
He'd hug me, and he wore so much cologne.
Oh, yeah.
It's like 6 hours.
Obsession for men.
Anybody who walked by would be like, "You got Sariko."
Yeah.
Because he always wore so much cologne. Oh, I love it.
Obsession for men.
Right.
That was his thing.
The best Michael story is they were in a car doing a scene in a car, and I had Comtext on because I was cueing them to do something. So I could hear what they were talking about in the car. And the conversation literally went like this. Do you know? Sariko looks at Michael and he goes, "You stink." Michael said, "What? I'm sorry." And Sariko goes, "You don't wear deodorant. Like, you stink. I can't be in the car with you." Which then Michael tried to explain to him that his wife didn't like when he wore deodorant. She liked him to be natural. And this went on for 5 minutes. It was the greatest dialogue I've ever heard in my whole life. I was peeing. They kept saying, "Cue them," and I was literally on the floor laughing. Like, I cannot believe this is happening. It was hilarious.
Amazing.
And he doused Michael with it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I'm sure I told Michael, don't listen to him. You smell fantastic.
That's right.
Definitely did.
Hippies that we were.
We all went home smelling like Sariko. He would always spray us, thinking it was the best thing.
Banaka. Forget about the cologne, the fucking Banaka.
Yeah, the Banaka
That was
for
his
the rest
thing.
and the obsession for his outside.
Not me. Not me. My first season there, my first time I was supposed to dress him, I knocked on his camper. He's like, "Who are you?" And I said who I was. He's like, "Nah, I want a woman." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I sent a woman. And then over the course of the season, he saw me on set and knew like I was legit. But then he's like, "Look, I don't like this situation, so we're going to do it this way. You're going to come to me. You're going to tell me what's wrong with my clothes. I'm going to fix it myself, and you're going to tell me that I did a good job." And that's how we'll do it.
Wow.
Thank God, Sariko.
Best thing about it, he needed, if his call time was, his pickup was at 5, he needed to be up at 2.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
He had a 3-hour routine from when to when he could get into the car.
Yeah.
So
The shower, to do his hair, the hairspray, all of it.
So he did his own hair before he got to work.
correct.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a thing. That was a whole thing.
He had to iron his
That was
clothes.
my first introduction. Tony Sariko was. He said, "Hi, my name is Tony. Don't touch the hair."
That's right.
To which I said, "Don't worry about it, honey. It's not my department."
But we actually saw him do his hair
yeah.
once. We actually saw him do his
It's
hair once in
fascinating.
the trailer. It was amazing. We were all sitting there just like going, "Oh my God, what is this?" He'd comb it and he'd spray it for like 5 minutes, let it set, and then he'd comb it again and spray it for another 5 minutes. I mean, he went through literally a whole can of Aquanet. And we were like, holy crap. It was.
Would he dye it himself, besides?
No,
he would
he
go
had
to
a
his
barber do
guy.
that.
He had a guy that did that.
He had a guy.
Yeah.
Not a
Yeah,
Not a good
Not a girl.
No, it was a guy. He had a guy.
it was a guy.
Yeah. But holy crap, it was a process.
3 hours of prep time, my God.
And I can't, Chris, we used to have to change, like so many things would happen, and I'd always get a phone call, probably 3 or 4 in the morning. Something's changed. So then I'd have to get up and I'd have to call 75 actors and say, you've got to come in 3 hours early. And it was, I knew that if I didn't make that call first, that was the death of us all. He could not get in the car. Like we would have to push. Couldn't 3 hours, literally.
Yeah.
3 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I would need my time. There were certain things I couldn't do. I couldn't play the character without certain things. Like when I first started the show, I would have to go to the nail salon to have my acrylics done. Otherwise, I couldn't play the part. And then eventually I let go of that, and you guys gave me the press-ons, which I was very grateful for.
Yeah.
But
I used to double. I remember I used to double Edie a lot for driving. Like she would go home.
Yes, that's right.
Get in the clothes and you would put the fake nails on me. And I couldn't do, I don't know how you guys did it, man. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't open a door. I couldn't drive. I couldn't put
you can't function.
It was terrible.
Nope.
That is a chore.
It's not easy to wipe the ass with these.
No.
Your Louis Vuitton nails are still my favorite of all times.
Who had Louis Vuitton nails?
Rhea had Louis Vuitton custom-made nails.
Wow.
Amazing.
They were made for me by a high school friend of mine who became a professional manicurist named Maria Salandra.
Yep. I think
Did I use them on the show?
And she painted a lot of the nails for the show for me.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are saying that I wore Louis Vuitton nails?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. At one point you did.
Nails at one point.
I can't wait till I get to that episode.
I know.
I think we still have a couple extra left over of the Louis Vuittons that.
Yeah, we do.
We have when we get a chance, we're going to look through our nail boxes, and we're going to come up with so many like things that are so you that we'll send them to you.
I want your heads and your nails.
Next time we do the
nails.
Props. We need the props, the heads. So you guys have to bring in some stuff from the basement.
You ever want to?
I don't know what that means. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, in the basement, I've got what do we got from the show? We got Ralphie's head and hands. We got Fat Dom's head. Phil Leotardo's head. We've got Jimmy's belly from the
Jimmy's chest.
Surgery.
Oh, from the surgery.
We still have the big giant belly. We got what else?
You're sitting on $1 million there.
We got a cleaver head of Jonathan LaPaglia in the basement.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
What else do we have from the Sopranos down there? I think that's mainly it. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
That's like you could make almost $1 million selling that stuff, guys.
I actually have people contacting me all the time trying to buy Sopranos stuff.
Well,
us too.
Oh yeah. I mean, you guys know that the show is up 176% in viewership in the quarantine.
Wow, that's crazy.
Wow.
My kids watched it during the pandemic.
Oh, really?
How old are your kids now? Because you had your baby there.
Yeah.
You were pregnant on the show.
Twice.
Oh, yeah,
Got knocked up twice on that show.
I remember the Vesuvio bridal, the baby shower.
20, just about 20 and just about 16.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
It's insane.
I have kids now, guys. It's weird.
I know.
I was a kid.
Wow.
I see your kids on Instagram and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm old.
Yeah.
I know.
You've got three?
I have two. I have two.
Well, you kind of have three.
I would like another. Jen, let's have a baby together, you and me. Come on.
That's all we have left to do together, really.
Really?
We need one more. We need one little one to raise together.
Do you remember that time we were in the car going, I don't know where, and Bam was like, why can't you and Titi just get married?
Oh, we are married. You guys know that Ginger was just living here. Well, Kristen knows for sure, and Chicken knows, but and Chris knows, but she was just living here for the whole quarantine. She visited at the beginning of the quarantine and couldn't leave.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Wow.
I was there for 6 months.
A couple days ago.
I just left Tuesday. I was there for 6 months.
Wow!
What a great place to get quarantined, though.
Yeah,
I know, right?
All right.
Joseph, where are you? Are you in Los Angeles or in New York?
New York, New York.
Your apartment looks super cool over there. It looks like you have really cool wallpaper.
Thank you.
Like your outfit.
It's seagrass.
I can tell. It's very nice. Joseph, do you remember when they told me that I was dying on the show, and you were with me for a lot of that, and you were the first person to get into my trailer every morning because you would put my clothes in there, my costumes. So there were two times where they brought me in for a reshoot. So we thought I was over one day. We thought it was my last day. We were at some hotel. I don't know what the hell scene we were shooting, but I want to say it was the tiger outfit, the tiger striped outfit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you decorated my room and did a whole thing for my last day. Like you made me feel so special. And then it was a psych out because they had to have me come back. And you did it again.
Yeah. That was when we put on the camper. I put on the camper door Drelo and Beyonce.
Oh my God, yes, I remember that.
How much I was eating those days. When my ass was llenita? When my ass was pumping, I was J-Lo. If I was pumping even more, then I was Beyonce.
That's right.
How about Joseph Halloween every year? What Joseph would dress up as?
Yes.
Oh my God, epic.
That's the best.
What would you do? I don't remember. Again, I'm sure I was hungover or nervous.
I think the most photographed one was that when I was Robin from Batman and Robin.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yes.
I remember.
Amazing.
Such good time.
What about when we put together a softball team and all we did was get drunk and eat and not really play softball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All those boys.
That's what Edie would show up to, though.
Edie would come to that. Edie and I
remember hearing about that.
She and I would switch off pitching.
Yep.
Edie, she came to every game. Lorraine came to some games. Jamie.
Yep. It was always
all the electrics.
Tim Van Patten, all the production.
Phil Abraham all the time.
Yeah, Phil Abraham. That's right. We had the best.
You know who did not go to those games?
That would be
you.
Yeah.
Almost none of the guys came.
Yeah, it was
the ladies always came.
Yeah, Sherpa.
Yeah, wise guys
Johnny
don't
B
play
came a couple times, and I think Sherpa came once just to say hi.
I think he came once, yeah.
But yeah, we had the best time.
And every time Sherpa, his first season, every time he would show up on set would be on the back of a fire truck. Do you guys remember that?
Oh my God, yeah.
Every single time. He would always say, "Did you get picked up? No, I'm good." And then a fire truck would pull down that street and he would be on the back of the fire truck every single time for the first season. Every day.
Why is that? Buscemi had the relations to the fire department.
Right.
What was Shariffa's?
I don't know. It was he just would.
I don't want to cut into everyone's Sunday and take you all away from your families all day. I want to let you guys get back to your worlds on a Sunday. I don't want to leave.
Thank you so much for having.
I know. I feel like we
Yes.
Thanks for taking the time, guys. This was really great.
Can't we do this with more people?
Yeah, we should.
Can you imagine? Oh, we need to get together in person.
Who should we do it with next? Who should we bring on?
we gotta get the kids on. Jamie, Lynn, and Robert.
Yeah.
Those are our little babies.
Right.
That would be fun.
Yep.
And who else? But Marchetti is
Aida.
Aida for sure.
Oh my God.
Entertainment, and so is Marchetti. Yep.
Yeah, and Marchetti. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's do round 2 with those guys added.
Oh, anytime. Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so happy to see everybody's face and hear everybody's stories. You guys have to do some more things to tell me so you can remind me of my life. I don't remember.
So we need to get together like an actual bar and hang out and just shoot the
Yeah.
I can't wait to be back in New York at some point.
Yeah, definitely. Call us.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us on the Gangster Goddess broadcast.
Oh my God, this has been amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gangster Goddess broadcast is a UV Ways and Monkey Mind Music Group production. Executive produced by Dre and Chris, and theme song by UV Ways.
The machine head.